Hey, everybody. It is February 21st, 2024, and we're back. Welcome, everybody. Thank you for joining us tonight. We're having a true crime open discussion tonight. Everything and anything and all the things crime related, we're going to talk about them. Thank you so much for being here, and I appreciate each and every one of you so very much. But like I always say, I think we can't do nothing until we get this show on the road. Here we go. Hello. How is everybody tonight? Thank you guys for joining me. I do appreciate you all so very much. Hope you're all having a great night. I hope you had a wonderful day today as well. And please let me know if you can hear me okay, loud and clear. I appreciate that so very much. And it is great to have you all here tonight. As always, you guys are amazing. As you've seen in the title, it is a true crime open discussion. I have some things that I'm putting together for specifics on specific cases, but I wanted to get in since I didn't get to do this earlier in the week. I tried to, and it turned into something else, which is okay because I enjoyed that so very much with you guys. But this here, I want it to be about crime as much as it can be for us tonight. So that's what it's about, guys. And thank you for being here for it. It looks like we have 62 peeps here. We got 32 likes, guys. Come on now. Let's make that match if we can. I do appreciate you. I'm going to speak a couple words before I get into anything. Once we get through everything, I just want you guys to give me a few short minutes to say a couple things, and then we'll move on into what we're doing. So, again, thank you to everybody that's here. Please share this out if you can, and please, if you will, please hit that like button. Leave a little DNA for me if you can, so we can get this in that algorithm and get it flowing like it should. So let's see who we got gracing us tonight with their present. Looks like Mr. Robert Bell and Miss Josie West. Welcome back to you. Good to see you. What's happening? Doodlebug, great to have you here, dear. Great to see you tonight. Welcome back, Great Pearl. Good to see you. Miss Carolyn Miller, thank you for being here with us tonight. It's always a pleasure. Good to see you. Tammy C, welcome. Good to see you again. Thank you for joining us. Ro, what is going on with you? Good to have you. Good to see you. Sorceress, welcome back to you. Miss Megan, good to see you. Ms. Louis C, how are you tonight? Great to see you tonight. What's going on? Legendary CEO, how are you? Good to see you. Mr. Philip Hughes, always a pleasure, sir. Thank you for joining us tonight. You are much appreciated. Cindy Kerf, what's going on? Good to see you tonight. Thank you for joining us. Charlotte Gross, welcome back to you. Thank you for joining us. Miss Brandy B, the OG's in the house as always. Natalie B, thank you for joining us as well. Good to see you. Wisdom Speaks, thank you for being here. Tammy C, let's see. Cindy Kerf, what's going on? And tell Big O how Al. I said, hey, what's going on with him? Good to see you guys tonight. Thank you for joining us. Licity J, what's up? Good to see you tonight. Thank you for being here. Bonnie, always a pleasure to see you. Thank you for joining us. Jingles is in the house. What's going on? Good to see you tonight. Starter 614. Welcome back. Great to have you. Hope Floats. How are you tonight, Miss Val? Good to see you. MIA. Good to see you as well. Thank you for joining us. Let me see here. Garut, what's going on? What's happening? Good to see you. Good to have you. Let's see. Where are we at here? Miss Joanne, welcome back to you. Great to see you. Thank you for being here. Did I miss Deborah Noggle? Sorry about that. Thank you for being here and joining us tonight. Great to see you. Tomboy Charm, always a pleasure. Thank you for being here with us as always. Let me see. Make sure I'm not missing anybody. Tammy C. Cluminati, thank you for joining us. Good to see you tonight. Huda London, welcome. Good to have you and good to see you. Trying to make sure I got everybody. I didn't hear that, Deborah. That's interesting, though. Thank you for the info. What's happening, Big Ohio Wow? Thank you for joining us. Love Tina 2010. Thank you for joining us. Thank you, Miss Gray Pearl. I appreciate that. Josie West, always a pleasure. If I didn't say hi, I thought I did, but I'm sorry. Golf Inspector, how are you tonight, ma'am? Good to see you. Thank you for joining us. SW True Crimes in the house. Welcome back. Good to have you here. Good to see you. Tracy Sanchez, that's a new name. Welcome. Always a pleasure to see new faces. What's up, Sarge? Good to see you. Thank you for joining us tonight. I think I got everybody. If I didn't get you guys, I'm so sorry. I will catch up with you. Oh, Jethro Troll. Hello. How are you? Good to see you. Came in at the very bottom. Very bottom. Oh, I think that is everybody so far. 92 people in here, 42 likes. Thank you all so much for doing that and being here. I appreciate you so much. There's definitely some things to talk about in the true crime world tonight, as we all know and saw, which we'll talk about it and see it. That the Chief Fry is leaving. He's talking about retiring and possibly moving on to the county as the sheriff's department. We'll see what happens with that. There's some other things that have come down, unfortunately, with the case we were looking at yesterday, which ended very sadly, as we all know. Natalie B, if I didn't say hello, dear. Good to see you tonight. Nothing about Gabby or Kylie. So that's okay. That's okay, Bonnie. Thank you so much for that. I do appreciate that very, very much. Um, all right. Let's see here. All right. First thing I want to do, guys, is I want to thank Amy Peterson. There you are. Good to see you. Thank you for joining. Stephen D. Welcome. Been a while. Good to have you here. The first thing I want to do is I want to thank everyone that is here that supports me, truly supports me, and supports this channel just by being here. I want to thank you all from the depths of my soul and let you know, welcome back, Abu, how much I actually appreciate you for being you, period, and being real. And Duke, what's up, brother? And being and Karen, okay, about the channel and the community and all that stuff, and me per se too. I guess that goes with me. Mary Holt, welcome to you. I want to first of all tell you thank you, and please know how much I appreciate that. Period, just period. It means the world to me, you guys. It really does. Okay. Um, and it really is the most important thing to me in here. Um, Secondly, I want to say that, and again, I've said this before in the past. I just don't understand why it would be anything any different. But if you don't want to be here or you don't like me, don't be, guys. If you don't like me, why be here? You know what I mean? If you don't like what I say or who I am or how I sound or how I look or whatever the thing is, like why would you be here? I would never go around anybody I don't like. You know what I mean? Or I don't care for or whatever it is. That just makes no sense to me other than to I can't even think of the right word, like just harass or mentally just bother people. Like it just doesn't make sense. It doesn't, guys. Like why do that? Why do that at all? It doesn't make sense. Um I enjoyed this so very much, and I have a passion for this. I'm not perfect. I don't do it perfectly right all the time. I do my best at it. I try to give you guys the best I can. People make mistakes at times. It is what it is, and most of you guys don't ever call me out on that because you guys are awesome people. There's Mama Bear. Good to see you, Mama Bear. There she is. But again, if you don't like me or you don't think I'm who I am or what I am or trust, I don't know, however you want to put it, just don't come in here, guys, please. I just, it doesn't make sense to me. Eh, I'm not a negative person. I try not to be. I don't come off to you guys on purpose. If I do, if it's negative, I just don't do negativity. I don't like it. So that's all I'm asking is just if you don't like me, be upfront with me and just don't come in. That's all. No big deal. I don't have any hard feelings about it. I respect that. I get it. Not everybody's gonna like me. That's okay. Um, for whatever reason, and I would really appreciate that if anything. And yes, Mama Bear will be with us tomorrow during the day at some point. Thank God. She got some time off finally and she'll be joining us. But thank you. If you do that, thank you for doing that. And again, guys, I can't anymore. There's so much negativity and bullshit and just stupid things that are said about me and around me. And it's like, come on. Are you kidding me? Like, this is so ridiculous. I'm almost a 50-year-old man, and most of us in here are close. I don't want to call anybody's ages out. I'm not doing that, but in that relative age group, and we're all adults. You know what I'm saying? It's ridiculous. If people want to believe things they hear about me, come and ask me. I'm not going to lie to you. I've never, not once, lied to anybody about anything. And if anybody wants to say I did, show it to me. And if you're right, I'll apologize. If not, let's let it, move along. Because people I don't even know what kind of people like to say things against me or to try to hurt me or take me down or whatever their goal is. It's ridiculous, you guys. I'm out here just talking to you, to people that I actually relatively wholeheartedly care about as people. I love people in general, even that I don't know you face to face. A lot of you guys I know well enough to know that I know. Okay. Can you say that 3 times straight? No. And it's fact, folks. I do care about people, period. Just period, in general. The world, society, I do. Just the person I've always been. Um, and people just are like mean. I don't understand it. If you don't agree with me, then that's cool. That's what my platform is based on, is people agreeing to disagree and still treating each other with respect and like human beings, okay? As an adult would. If you don't like each other, then don't talk to each other. If you don't like me, don't talk to me or come in and listen to me. You guys are everybody that, how can I say this? Everybody that comes into this community, I think is each one of you has your own special thing about you that I think is awesome. And a lot of you I know very well, and a lot of you I don't know very well, okay? But I still consider this my community, my family, okay? And it's important to me. Like I've said before, if I don't do this on a regular basis, my day does not go right. I'm not a vindictive person. I'm not a mean person. How often have any of you seen me come up here on a live stream and go after somebody or attack somebody or talk mean about somebody or to somebody? I don't do that. There's enough of that out there. Welcome, Cat K. Good to see you. And P-Fox, what's up? I don't do that, guys, and I'm not gonna do that ever because that's not my personality. I'm not built that way. So I'm not trying to make anybody uncomfortable. I know that things like this get uncomfortable at times for people, and it's something I wanted to say. I can't personally deal with drama anymore. If people want drama, go to a drama community or another channel out here, and I'm sure there are some that are drama. It affects me in ways that I don't even understand anymore, guys. And if you care about other people, anybody, then stop. Just stop. I don't sleep right anymore because of this. I'm stressed out on a regular basis because of this. I'm just always feeling like drained. Like when I started doing this in this community, I was super energetic and out there and booming and banging and like, hey, let's do this, right? Do I seem that way like I used to be anymore? No, because people have drained me. People come at me with things that don't make any sense. They're just ridiculous. Listening to what other people are telling them instead of coming to the source and saying, yo, listen, I know this might sound off, but like so and such said this and this, and is that true? I'm not going to laugh at you. Well, I might laugh at the scenario, but not you personally. And I'm going to tell you the truth because I have nothing to gain from not, folks. I don't make stupid money out here doing this. I'm not rich. Okay. I'm not trying to drain people of their bank accounts. It's ridiculous. It's so ridiculous. I enjoy true crime, guys. I love it. Unfortunately, it ends badly in some senses, like yesterday's stream, and I have to deal with that as the rest of you do. But I try to soften that and be as sensitive to those subjects as I can for you guys, and show you guys that you're not alone in this. There's a lot of people that look forward to this because they don't have anything else in their life. I get that. I respect that. I'm here for that. I want to be that person, okay? Because it makes me feel good. That's all I'm saying, you guys. Like, come on. When is enough enough? Okay, because it's just too much, too much. It really is. And other different people are affected in different ways. I'm pretty thick skinned. I'm pretty tough, and believe me, people that have been around for a while know I've been through a lot of shit out here, more than some people have, and I'm still here. because you guys are important to me no matter what. I could have stopped doing this many a times, but I chose not to because one, I love it. Two, I love you guys. Because there's people that said they'd be horribly upset if I wasn't here anymore. That's a wonderful feeling to me. But at what cost, you know? Because people are unhappy with something, they're gonna say this, that, or Dago's this person, he's really that person, and he tells you all this stuff, and he's really this way, and he's like that. I don't know, you guys. No. Okay, 1 second, folks. I gotta shut this down. I'm sorry. 1 second. I gotta find it first. Sorry about that. There it is. I always forget to do this. Mr. Absent-Minded Professor. All right, there we go. So anyway, and I'm about done, folks. I don't want you to have to sit here and listen to me babble on, okay? I just want it. Moonlit Baby, welcome. Good to see you. Kay Lazox, I think. Thank you for being here. That's all I want to say. Trolls are trolls, folks. I don't care about trolls. I don't care about trolls. It's people that have been around for a long time that are saying some of these things and that are pushing some of these narratives. And it's like, for what? What is the gain from it other than upsetting me? Is that what the point is? Is that what you want to do, is upset me? There's nothing else you're going to gain from it. Or trying to make other people not like me. If that's the case, let people think on their own. I'm not trying to drag anybody in here. If people don't want to be here, they don't have to be here. I've said that before. I appreciate everybody that's here, and I want everybody that's here, and then some. But I'm never going to ever try to force somebody to be here, okay? So, again, if you don't like me, if you don't like what goes on here, maybe, per se, sometimes, not everything's always going to be perfect. Things happen, guys, okay? And they're not always done on purpose. But again, things happen. I can't always just, get a plan for the future and see what's going to go down. I try to make things the best they can be. Sometimes things happen, and my apologies for that, but they're going to happen, and people are going to be unhappy. And if that's a reason that makes you want to leave here because one day we have something that happens and it upsets people, then I understand. You'll move on. Okay. God bless and good luck. That's what I wish to everybody that does that. Other than that, if you're here to support the channel or me, then do that. You know what I mean? Don't pretend to be some, like you care about me or the channel and then turn around and be a whole different person behind my back. Come on. We are way too old for that shit. I didn't even get involved in that in middle school, folks, and it happens all over this whole platform. We are all better people than that. Every one of us are. And we can all make a difference in what we do out here if we do what we do out here instead of all that other stupid shit. Because we're all better than that. That's all I'm saying, and that's all I'm asking. So, if nobody wants to be here, don't be. I'm sorry that you feel that way. I understand. I still give a shit, and I still care about you. But do what you got to do to make yourself happy, because that's what matters, guys. Period. And that's it, guys. That's it. That's all I'm saying. Again, thank you, everybody that's here. I appreciate every one of you guys, like literally from deep in my heart. I do. I don't care what other people try to tell people. Oh, he's fake. He's this. He doesn't love you. He doesn't care. He doesn't this. Who wants to hear everybody say hi to them? Most everybody does. But, it is what it is. So, anyway, I'm not going to change that about me ever. I'm going to continuously come in here and say hi to everybody because I care. And that's that. That's who I am. That's who my channel is. If people don't like it, this isn't the channel for you. That's all. So, welcome again to everybody. And let's see who else has jumped in since I've been blabbing my mouth. E.B. Murray, welcome to you. I'm sorry if I butchered your name, K. Laox, I think it is, or Zox, Lazox, K. Laxox. That's the best I can do. Borg, welcome. Good to see you. Jennifer Hansen, good to have you here. Moonlit Baby, always happy to see you as well. MIA, welcome, welcome. Psycho 7, wait a minute. Psycho Sven 69. Good to see you. Sarah Bear, welcome. Aquarius, yeah. 420, what's up? Good to see you. Becca Boo, I think I said hi, but hello again, Mary Holt. Welcome to you. Of course, like I said, Golf Inspector, always a pleasure. Good to see you tonight, dear. I think I got everybody. And if I didn't, again, guys, I'm sorry. I will catch you on the other side. Smiling Sleuth, welcome to you. So, I think that's everyone. Hopefully, you guys, hopefully that's the last time I have to have that conversation because I don't like doing that. I don't. What's up, Willie? Good to see you, brother. Hope you're doing well. Been a minute. It's good to see you. La 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 la. Yes, my hair's on fire, guys. That's gonna be a new hairstyle. I told everybody before. Well, thank you, Groot. That means the world to me. Thank you so very much. Sticking around, wild horses can't take me away. Be careful out there. Carrie Perzula, good to see you. I want one drama free. Not one live without the drama. I absolutely. Okay, absolutely. That's what I'm trying to stay away from. I promise you. Kelly Dean, good to see you. We're talking about whatever we talk about. That's true crime tonight. It's a wide open scenario. Pammy B, good to see you. Thank you for being here. Other people popping in left and right. We got 159 people and 78 likes. We are almost there, folks. Come on now. We can do this. We just talked about it. If you love me, please hit that like button. If you will, I appreciate it. Get me out in that algorithm. Please, please, please. That's a good point, Kelly. That's a fact. I talked about that months ago. Months and months ago. I'm trying to remember her name. She went missing and they found her boyfriend. Where did they find her boyfriend? At the BMV, all drugged up or something, and then they ended up finding her later on deceased. Nobody knew about that case. Nobody knew about that case. And here's the thing, folks. I'm not trying to stand ignorant when I say this. Please don't take it that way because I've looked at the statistics on it and it's actually fact. If it involves a black man or a woman or a black child in some senses, it doesn't get the press that it should. If it's a rich, bunch of white kids or a very like a mayor somewhere that's a white person, boom, 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 boom. It's all over the damn place. It's insane. It's a good point, Kelly. It's a good point. Press should be equal opportunity for everybody. Everything is important. It's all important to the world. They shouldn't break it down based on how much money you make, what race you are, who in your life is important. It's insane. It is insane. Doc, what's happening? No, I still haven't. Has anybody in here seen One Maiden Nut? I'm really actually worried at this point. I hope he's okay. That would be Eddie. For those of you that don't know, thank you for bringing it up again, Golf Inspector. I have not seen him. It's been a month, at least a month. And I've looked around in different streams. I don't see him anywhere. So I hope that he's okay. If you see him anywhere, please, please, please tell him we're looking for him. Please. I mean, he maybe he did just take a break. I know Eddie was really involved in the Idaho 4 case. He was very, very, very enthralled with everything in it. And he took it seriously, guys. So if he needed to, God bless you, brother. I don't blame you. I don't, because it's done a lot to a lot of people. Ro, I was gonna actually put together. I'm working on trying to put together a way. I'll be honest with you guys. I want to work on a way to approach that scenario, okay? Because I have all that. I have the text messages. I have everything. I know it all, okay? I knew about that stuff way before it was released, to be honest with you. I've had some stuff on it for a long time, but, and I don't want to come out here and say, here it is, and boom, 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 and go full force and attack Steve Gonsalves. No, I'm not going to do it. I refuse to do it because it's happened enough, okay? And the man has been through enough. The family's been through enough. And that's not how I see it, okay? There's reasons for everything that happened, guys. And there's reasons why certain things do come out the way they do. We may not know the reason right now, but I'm not going to ever say anything to attack this man for doing anything he's done after what he's been through. That's something that needs to be known from me. You don't have to agree with me either, folks. It's okay. That's how I feel. That's how this channel is going to take it. That's how this channel is going to put it out, if it does. I've seen them, and I know for a fact that they happened, okay? I know they're real. The one person that is in the other side of the text messages, I used to be fairly close with, and we had discussions about things, okay? So it's real. It is real. Now, I'm not going to put together a show, come out here and go, why did you do this? Why did you do that? What are you doing this for? What was that about? How did you no, that's not my business. It is not my business. Why do you guys think I've never, ever, and I never would, I've never, ever tried to reach out to any of the families involved in the Idaho court case? I'm not ever going to. If one of them comes to me, I'll speak with them, but I'm never going to reach out to them because it's not my place to. Okay? These people have so much to deal with. They have so much weight on their back. They don't need to hear from me or anybody else. Okay? And I'm not saying that she reached out to him. I don't know how that went down. That's one thing I'm not clear on, but I would never do that. If the man came to me tomorrow and said, hey, Dago, I got some questions for you. Boom, boom. Of course I'm going to talk to him. I'll give you anything you need, anything I can help you with, sir. I'm absolutely devastated that this happened to your family. I offer you the utmost respect that I possibly can, because the main reason why I'm saying that, you guys, my opinion on this is if people think this is wrong, maybe he doesn't. Most of us have never been through this, okay? Most of us have never been through this. So we don't know exactly how we would act. Some of us do, unfortunately, and I'm so sorry for that. But most of us don't know how we would act in a scenario like this. If we were one of the Gonsalves or the Chapins or the Kernoodles or the Mogans, we don't know how we would act if we went through that because it's never happened to us. So we can't say, well, I would do this and I would do that. No, we can't say that because we don't know. You could say all you want. Well, I would never be this way or be that way. And I bet you when it comes down to it, it would change. God forbid. And I pray to God that nobody ever has to go through that that's in here ever. But there are people in here that have. I know they have for a fact. And I am brokenhearted for those people on a regular basis because I can't imagine going through what they've gone through just as much as I can't imagine what Steve Gonsalves has gone through. So in turn, understanding that and knowing that, okay, to me tells me, now I will say this, if that wasn't a situation, I would want the truth and nothing but the truth. From the interviews we saw, the man felt he was not getting everything he should be getting in the beginning. Okay? So if somebody were to reach out to him and say, hey, I have information about this, this, and this, his heart probably led him in that direction and said, go find out because we need to know. I need to know. Okay? That's my thought on that. And I have yet to put together anything I'm comfortable with that I can put out that it would be 100% respectful of Steven Gonsalves. Okay, that's why I haven't done it yet, guys. That's my answer and my explanation to it. And I'm sure some people may not agree with me, and that's okay. I'm okay with that, you know. So, if I can do it respectfully, I will. I promise. But oh my God, goodness gracious, good almighty, Mr. Brian Hoffman, hello. How are you, brother? I hope you're doing well, Brian. I've missed you. I hope you're feeling good. And I'm glad to see your name in here. I am. I was wondering about you. So great to see you, Brian. God bless you, brother. Exactly. That's my point, Kay. Like, I don't think that stuff should have ever been put out. I don't, because all that stuff was out there for was to show that he communicated with other people. Okay, he doesn't need to be ridiculed, folks. He doesn't. It's not our business. It's not. And truthfully, you guys, you know this. We've said this before. Anything with this case is really not our business. The judicial side of it, yes, that's our business as we the people. But the personal details within these cases, they're not. None of these cases, it's not really our business. But this is how we do things, and it comes off that way. Okay, and we try to do it as respectful as we can. It doesn't always come out that way, but you know, it is what it is. We do the best we can as creators to make it that way. Some people don't, and that's their choice. But I'm not one of those guys, so I can't. I would never want to wear Steve Gonsalves' shoes, folks. I mean, I can't, or any of them. I really can't imagine, and I don't hope I never have to. And I hope that none of you that have not experienced that ever have to. That's all I'm saying. Speaking of Idaho, let me check chat real quick to make sure I'm keeping up with you guys. That's a good question. Yes, I have, Psycho 7. I have wondered that a lot. And the only thing I can come up with is that the town doesn't want it talked about. The town wants to forget it. I understand that. It's a college town. You know, that's going to keep people from coming to the town, possibly, and enrolling in the college, possibly, which is going to be a detrimental scenario for that town. Okay. It makes sense to me. It does. But I've heard some stories about it's really, really not like they don't want you saying stuff about it at all. So, you can be both accused of a crime at any point, so watch your life. That's a good point, Kelly. Good point. You know, it is a great question. It makes you wonder. I know it does. It makes everybody wonder, why won't they talk about it? What are they afraid of? Is there something where I've heard all the stories. And they do make sense, guys. In some senses, they do. But that's a good question, Psycho Spen. DS, welcome. Good to see you. It is really, LA, good to see you too. It's really wonderful to see you, Brian. I was actually thinking about you yesterday. Hoping you're doing okay. Pickle is in the house. What's up, Pickle? Good to see you, dear. Oh, anyway, nothing half-assed. Good to see you as well. 45 Square, thank you for joining us. I think Steve is grieving the best way he knows how at this point. I think him talking to media is therapeutic, and that is my other thought. I said that the other day, that I don't think that the man has been able to grieve in a way that he probably should. So in a sense, this is probably the best way for him to do it, because in his mind, he probably feels like he's doing, and he is doing something to help in this scenario. That's important, and it should be. So I get it. I do get it. It's a good point, 45. I agree with that too. I still don't think they're getting enough information, and that's, I don't understand it. I never will. Wayne B, what's going on? Good to see you tonight. Speaking of Idaho, Heather Fitzgerald, hello. How are you? No, I did not see that. Interesting. I'll have to look at that. Casey Lee, good to see you. Well, I think so too. I do. I think so too at this point. Anything that has happened in a derogatory way, I'm sure that's not at all what he meant to happen, okay? I don't think it is. So, as I've tried to say this 3 times now, I don't know what. Hold on here. I'll show you guys real quick. Oh, here we go. So, as we all know, Chief James Fry is the chief of Moscow PD, the chief, of the police department that is covering the Idaho 4 case. And I saw today that Chief Fry, welcome American Princess, is retiring. Deborah Lynn Pauly Putnam, good to see you. After 29 years. So, I'll let you guys check this out. I thought that was kind of interesting. I'm sure that this case did not help push him into that. I'm not saying that's why he's retiring, guys. I'm just saying this case has probably been the most stressful thing in his whole career. And damn, okay, so hold on a minute.
Police Chief James D. Fry has announced he will be retiring. The press release from the city of Moscow says that he'll retire in May. The police chief spent 29 years serving the Moscow community. Fry, of course, at the helm during the murder of 4 University of Idaho students in November of 2022. He found himself in a media firestorm when that happened. Moscow will begin the process for selecting a new police chief over the next few weeks.
Well, that's pretty much it. I've also heard that Chief Fry is going to be running for sheriff, Latah County, and good luck to you, sir. I think that was the only one that I had. I had downloaded one, but one didn't work for some reason. Nope, it didn't. But so that's happening. That is happening. I also got 1 second here. Let me see something, guys. Where's it at? Where's it at? Where's it at? Hold up. I know it's here because I just got it not too long ago. I've had a few people send me some stuff. Good Lord, where did it go, Dago? Here we go. Hold on. All right. So, 1 second here. As we all know, yesterday we covered a very sad case that had a very sad ending. Okay. Not the ending I wanted, not the ending anybody wanted. I think a lot of us took that very hard. Poor, beautiful little Audrey Cunningham, we know was found deceased. And well, they already had the piece of garbage in custody that was responsible for it. Thank God they didn't have to go look for him. But I have the affidavit today. He's being charged with capital murder. I figured I would go over that with you guys real quick here. For those of you that are interested or were involved in being interested in this case, thank you so much, Doodle. God bless. Gifted 1 membership. I didn't see who got it, but thank you so much, and I appreciate you very, very much. Roger Lanier. He was Captain Roger Lanier, he retired before, right after the Idaho case went down, actually. Thank you again, Doodle, very much. Thank you, hon. So, let me see if I can get this blown up here. In the name and by the authority of the state of Texas, this is the complaint filed against so on and so forth. As you can see, capital felony, capital murder of person. This is the affidavit for Don Stephen McDougal. I hate to even say his name. This brought tears to my eyes yesterday, guys. No lie. Again, as sad as this is, if this, this might upset some people. And I don't want it to. Let me throw this up, a little trigger warning just in case. But I thought most of you were following this along with us yesterday and for a few days. I want you guys to know what's going on as far as he's concerned and what's concerned. I guess this would be considered their arrest, their PCA, whatever you want to call it. It says before me, personally appeared the undersigned affiant, Detective Kayla Hemberly, who, after being duly sworn, deposes and says that Don Stephen McDougal, white male, date of birth, that's all redacted, of course, his address and stuff, who is herein after styled defendant on or about February 15th, 2024, and before the making and filing of this complaint, County of Polk and State of Texas, did then and there intentionally and knowingly cause the death of an individual namely Audrey Danielle Cunningham, 10 years of age or older, but younger than 15 years of age, by unknown means. Okay. The affiant being identified herein as Detective Kayla Hemberly, employed with the Polk County Sheriff's Department Criminal Investigation Division. The affiant, Detective Hemberly, has over 6 years experience in the field of law enforcement. Your affiant has specialized training in the field of murder offenses, assault, sex crimes, crimes against children, and other felony offenses. Yes, absolute trigger warning for those of you guys. One, the affiant shall show that the morning of February 15th of 24, Polk County Sheriff's Office Detectives investigation has revealed that said defendant, Don Stephen McDougal, along with the child victim of the home, left the home of the child located at, which is redacted, in the Lake Livingston Village subdivision in Livingston, Polk County, Texas. McDougal and the child victim left McDougal's 2003 Chevy Suburban with intent to drop the child victim off at a school bus stop near the entrance of the subdivision. It was discovered that the child victim was not at the bus stop when Livingston ISD bus arrived at the location, and discovered that the child did not make it to the Creekside Elementary that day. Affiant shall show that on February 20th, 2024, the body of the 11-year-old child victim, Audrey Danielle Cunningham, was located during a search of the Trinity River. Law enforcement dive teams located the child victim's body within the Trinity River, near State Highway 59 south at the Polk San Jacinto County line. San Jacinto County Justice of the Peace, C. McGee, ordered the child victim's body to be transported to the Harris County Medical Examiner's Office for autopsy and to determine the cause of death. The affiant shall show Don Stephen McDougal was a friend of the Cunningham family and resided on the family property in a cab over camper. McDougal had access to the interior of the child victim's home. The affiant shall show the video footage and cell phone data. See, this is what I wasn't sure of yesterday, but that, hold on, guys, sorry. The video footage and cell phone data places McDougal at 3 locations of interest. Evidence in connection with the defendant and the child victim was located at 2 of those locations and recovered. One of these locations is the Trinity River near State Highway 59, south where Audrey's body was later located. Appian shall show throughout the investigation, investigators were able to determine through cell phone data, video footage, and other forensic evidence McDougal lied about his whereabouts and activities on the day of February 15th of 24. Appian shall further show that upon recovery of the child victim's body, law enforcement discovered this is a definite trigger warning. So guys, if this is going to upset you, I'm going to give you a few seconds to take off for a minute. Literally just for a few seconds. There's something here I'm about to say that really could upset somebody. Okay. Law enforcement discovered a large rock tied to the child victim's body. The rope used was consistent with rope that was observed in McDougal's vehicle on a traffic stop 2 days prior. Appian shall further show that through investigation, there's sufficient evidence to show that on the date of February 15th, 2024, that said defendant Don Stephen McDougal committed the offense of capital murder. And that is signed by everybody involved. Warrant of arrest. This was the actual warrant for him. The secondary warrant that they put out after they found her, okay? And it states here, you are hereby commanded to arrest Don Stephen McDougal if found to be in your county and bring before me a magistrate in or for Polk County, Texas. Instanter then and there to answer the state of Texas for an offense against the laws of said state, to wit, capital murder of person. CJIS number 09990031, of which offense Don Stephen McDougal is accused by the written complaint under oath of Detective Kayla Hemberly filed before me. Herein fail not, but of this writ make due return, showing how you have executed same. That's the actual warrant for arrest for capital murder at this. Welcome, Ray Baldick. Good to see you. Okay, and then there's a copy there. No bond. Thank you. There's no way they could have given this guy a bond, or he would have never made it to court, folks. You know that as well as I do. Let's see here. The officer's return came on this 20th day of February, extended 20th day, 1843 o'clock, which would be 6. No. Yeah. Sorry, guys. I'm not looking at it. Usually I have to look at a clock. Anyway, that's when he was arrested by Polk County Sheriff's Department. I think that's going to show everything there, and it's stamped right there. So there he sits. And I'm hoping that very soon this doesn't sit forever. This trial happens and this man is gone. Thank you, Brandy. I pray to God. So there is that stuff there, and thank you for that and for sending that over. I appreciate that very much. Now, 1 second here. Let me check something for you guys. All right, let me drop this now. Hold on a minute. All right. And boom. All right. This is something that I guess Audrey's mother spoke at the vigil on today, actually. Hold on here. Oh, wait a minute. I always struggle with this TikTok stuff, finding the volume on this. Here we go. Start out by telling all of y'all thank you. You know, every bit of love and support that is here for my baby right now it's amazing. Just to see so many faces I didn't Hold on, guys. I'm sorry. It didn't go through. Thank you, Brandy.
I just wait, no, I'm good. I start out by telling all of y'all thank you. You know, every bit of love and support that is here for my baby right now it's amazing. Just to see so many faces that I don't even know personally, but I just I'm at a loss for words most of the time, other than the fact that I am beyond blessed to be able to give birth to something that she was perfection. And, you know, as a parent, we're all biased that we think our kids are perfect, you know, that it just is what it is. But I'm truly blessed to have given birth to such an amazing little girl. And I just want to, once again, thank all of y'all for coming out. And if y'all would like, y'all can go ahead and light your candles, and we'll start getting that done. You know, hopefully with all of our candles together, it'll be bright enough, you know, maybe she can see it. Maybe she'll see all the love and support that come together at once. So thank y'all.
Thank you for that, Brandy. I didn't even know there was a vigil today. I didn't get to see that. So, God bless. God bless that baby. That's all I can say. Rest in peace. I pray to God your life is easier. Well, there's nothing to worry about now. Nothing at all. You're in God's hands, and you're safer than you could be at that up there at this moment. So, no, I agree. I agree, Carolyn. I couldn't have been. I'd have just been a mess, I guess. But that's me. Everybody's different. So, um, that's what's going on there so far. That's what I know about that, at least I should say. I'm gonna show you guys some other things about other things. This is what was put on the news about the vigil, just so you guys can see the rest of it too, other than just that. Thank you very much for that, Brandy, by the way, again. Hold on, folks. Here we go.
You'd like a candle? Come up here.
This microphone is horrible.
Hey guys, if you'd like a candle, come up here and pick them up. We're gonna start passing them out. We'd like y'all to come and grab one for Audrey. There's small cups with tea light candles, and then we have some for the grown-ups. They can hold this, but grab one, please. It's for Cassie and Audrey.
I'm not gonna play any music today. I'm just showing you guys. There's certain songs that I don't want anybody to get upset about this. Okay, so that's I'm just showing you guys what has been put out so far. I know it's gonna upset me. It'll upset a lot of other people. So. I'm trying to give you guys a glimpse of what they did.
We wanted to thank everybody for coming out today for Audrey. There's a few people that want to say some words, and then we're going to invite any of y'all that want to come up and speak. If you haven't got a candle already, you're more than welcome to make your way up here and grab one if you didn't bring one. I'm going to invite Cassie's aunt, Brenda Cedars, up first. She wants to read a poem. and say something about Audrey. Brenda? Thank y'all for coming out tonight. Tonight is just to remember Audrey and the life we all shared with her. I want to read a poem. There is a special angel in heaven that is part of me. It's not where I wanted her, but where God wanted her to be. She was here but just a moment, like a nighttime shooting star, and though she is in heaven, she isn't very far. She touched the heart of many like only an angel can do. So I send this special message to the heaven up above. Please take care of our angel and send her all of our love. Audrey is my namesake. She has my name, so we're like super close. I'm not biased or anything, but this world's just not going to be the same without her. No matter where she went or who she met, she just made them light up. She could always make you laugh, and no matter what kind of mood you were in. And it just isn't fair that we all got robbed of that. So I just want to take this time to everybody just remember the good times and know that she's up there looking down on us. Thank you.
For those of you who don't know me, I'm Cassie. I am speaking on the behalf of my family. My husband was very close to her. My children went to school with her. I've met her a few times. Like I said, I'm not close to the father's family.
Yes,
we were all robbed of a chance to get to know this little girl. We were robbed of her light being shined down on all of us. And, you know, we were robbed of a lot of things when she was taken from us. We hoped for the best and we ended up with the worst. But I'm thankful for the community that has came out and shown out for her. She appreciates it. Her family appreciates it. Her mother appreciates it. We don't know what we would do without this community. Thank y'all.
I'm not gonna play that. I'm just gonna. We know the mother spoke, and then they started playing music, and I'm not gonna get into that because that's just too much for me. And so that did happen today, and God bless them. Let's see here. Now, also, where did it go? Where did it go? And I'm not trying to just be dismissive, guys. Those things bother me bad. So, especially when it comes to stuff like this, and I know it's if it bothers me, I know it bothers a lot of other people. Now, something else I wanted to talk about. I haven't had a chance to put an actual full-blown show together about, but guys, you know, it'd be a good night to talk about it. It's kind of crime, but not really. But it's a pretty serious issue, you guys, and I think it does need to be talked about. I don't know how many of you guys have seen the situation with the immigrants going on. If you have, throw a 1 in the chat for me so I know who knows what I'm talking about. Brian, I cut that off, buddy. So if you can hear me, you're okay. I know that you get bothered by some of this stuff too. What are you saying there, Doodle? What'd you say, hon? It hits real different. You're right, Gray. I can't handle them. I just can't. It affects me in a lot of ways. It's part of it engages my PTSD. That's part of what my PTSD is, and it really, really bugs me bad. So I'm sorry and I'm not playing the whole thing. So, hey Beth, good to see you, dear. KT, what's up? Yes, I saw that one, KT. That was insane. Let me show you guys something here. A couple things that I've been looking into have been driving me, like really flipping me out with this. Because this was 6 months ago. Okay. That this really started to become a problem in like New York and bigger cities and stuff like that. It hasn't really affected us in the smaller cities like where I live or towns and stuff like that. It's hitting some of these big cities in a big way, guys.
Water for migrants in Midtown Manhattan, in what is becoming a familiar sight in
You
New
look
York City.
around and you see these
Since
things.
late July, thousands of migrants have been bused from Texas
People are
to New
being
York
brought
and
in
other
and
U.S.
just
states.
dropped off
With
in different
shelters
areas.
full, migrants are sleeping outside of the Roosevelt Hotel, a processing center for the city's shelters. Jean Carlos Vasquez is a migrant from Venezuela.
It's been a few hours since I arrived. They gave me
They're shutting down schools. Okay. They're taking our children out of schools, shutting the schools down, sending our kids home to do homeschooling and to move these people into schools because they have nowhere to put them. Okay. There's people that are taking them in, that are voluntarily taking them in. I watched the other day a video, a family, a man and a woman that called because they saw this on the news and said, "Can I take in some people?" They did. Sure. A couple hours later, a van shows up from the government and drops 2 people off and says, "Here you go," and they leave. What? It's crazy, folks. It's become crazy. It's really become insane to me, you know. And it's like it's not I'm not even talking about nationalities, folks. I'm not bringing that up at all, and I don't want it to be about that. It's about the fact that there's so many of them. You know what I mean? They're closing down schools and they're putting them in the schools to live, and they're having people are calling in to move these people in with them. It's scary to me in some senses, you know. Yeah, it's not all just coming from coming from Mexico, folks. It's coming from all over the place. Nigeria, Mexico. Well, this guy here is from Venezuela.
water, some apples, and other food. But no one has answered any questions I had. They just gave me a ticket with my number in line.
These
No
people have
idea how
no
long
idea
I'll
what's
have to
going
wait.
on.
Migrants mostly come
They're
from
being brought
Africa and
in.
Latin America.
Look
Most
at
of them
this,
don't
guys.
speak English and don't know what to do, as many
Yes.
were told at the border they'll get shelter in New York.
The thing that I'm not getting here with this is we don't want, and I'm not, this is not going to go political, because if it is, I'll shut it down. I don't want to go into political talks about presidents or none of that stuff, because it's not a good idea. We have been pushing back on illegal aliens for years, right? And now they're just bringing these people and throwing them at us. This is something I just don't understand, you guys. I don't get it. Brandon, let's go, Brandon. I'm confused on that, you guys. What are we talking about? I don't know what that means because I haven't followed all of this. I've just followed the little bits of things. That's all. Okay, I'm trying to catch up on it. Okay. I just thought that what I know about it was just crazy to me, so that's why I'm showing you guys. Oh, the Brandon. Sorry, Derp. Wake up, Dago. Sorry about that, guys. I get it. I understand. And that's what I'm trying to avoid because people get upset. Okay. So maybe I shouldn't talk about it, but I just thought it was insane how it's going. No, I know what it means now, Evie. It just clicked. Sorry about that. I know exactly what it means, guys. It clicked. It took me a second. Sorry. So maybe it's not a good idea then. I just wondered what everybody's thoughts on this were because it doesn't seem like it's not something I ever imagined could happen. Do you know what I mean? It's crazy. And it's really bad. To hear that they're closing schools to find places for these people to live, that's insane to me. It really is. Yeah, that's a bad thing too. I know what you're talking about, Clue. Like I said, I'm not going into politics because it always causes problems in one form or another. So where did that go? Here it is. I mean, how is it okay? That's all I'm saying. And we don't have enough room, in my opinion, you guys. We don't. Corey Turdia, good to see you. Yeah, and that's the other thing, guys. We have our own homeless people here, okay? I've said this before 101 times. We have our own homeless people here, but here we have all these other people now. It scares me in some senses. The only thing I'm worried about, you guys, I'll be honest with you, is if they try to force us to take people in, okay? That is something that I'm going to have a huge problem with. Yeah, it's true. The next president is going to have a hell of a mess on his hands. That's no lie. That's what I'm talking about, Gray. I've said for years that we have, we're always worried about what's going on overseas and in Ukraine and Russia and all these other places and stuff like that. But we have like our own veterans that have defended our country in different wars sleeping on the sidewalk outside the White House. Are you kidding me? And now we're bringing all these other people in here that have nowhere to go. What? I don't get it. I don't know, Doodle. I don't know if Grandma was charged at all. I don't think she will be. So I wasn't sure how many people knew about this. I haven't really put a whole show together on it yet, and I will. Well, I'm not trying to go political with it. So anyway, that's all I was really going to show you guys about it. If you didn't know about it, that's all. I think most everybody does, obviously, as I'm seeing in the chat. And I had a couple other things to throw out there as well. Yeah, it's a good point too, Clue. That's not good. See? That's a good point there too. Yeah, but at the same time, I don't think they're looking at it in that realm, Doodle. I don't think they're looking at it in that realm. Unfortunately. I guess it depends on how you see it. You know what I mean? Also, where is it at? I just got this not too long ago. 1 second. Where is it? Hold on. This one. Okay. I don't know if you guys are familiar with this other case. I started following it last night. I heard something about it a couple of days back, but his name is, or not a couple of days back, but I'm sorry, a couple hours back. More things popped up on it. His name is Elijah View. Is anybody familiar with that one at all? Yes, no, maybe so. Is a 3-year-old little boy. Congratulations, Deborah. Thank you for being part of the community for 4 whole months. That's awesome. Thank you, Sherry. Okay, Heather, good. All right, guys, I'm going to give you, they just had a news press conference on this one to give you guys the whole story on that. Half an hour ago. Give an update. Hold on. One second, folks. Let me get the sound crap again. One second. Where's your sound? Good God. Hold up, guys. Sorry. Give me a second here. All right. Let me give you this first. That sound on that press conference was dead for some reason. So hold on. Let me give you this first. Thank you, Brandy, very much. Appreciate that. And thank you to anybody that's donated to support in that way. God bless you.
Right now, for a missing 3-year-old boy from Manitowoc County, investigators issued an Amber Alert for Elijah Vu yesterday.
More than 24 hours later, still no sign of the child. News Chopper 12 captured exclusive video of the search from the air.
12 News' Kendall Keys is there tonight. And Kendall, you've talked with the boy's family, frustrated at the lack of information.
Patrick, we heard from the boy's aunt today. 12 News has learned the boy's mother is in jail right now, taken into custody early this morning. We've asked police if this is related to the boy's disappearance, but they have not given an official update on the case, nor have they answered any of our questions. Meanwhile, the search continues, and we've watched those investigators hone in on this apartment building right here. People in Two Rivers searching.
I'm just looking for the little boy. We hope we can find him.
Where is he?
For missing 3-year-old Elijah Vu.
The more time that passes, it's just scarier.
A statewide Amber Alert active more than 24 hours. Police say a caregiver last saw Elijah Wednesday morning near 39th and Mishicot. The Amber Alert said he was with a caregiver. Do you know who that was?
No, I don't. No.
Elijah's aunt came Thursday to look for her nephew.
Words can't explain what we're going through. I know we're our hearts are very heavy right now at this time. You know, we're all trying to be very hopeful.
It's on Mishicot Road at this apartment building Wednesday night that 12 News cameras captured investigators collecting evidence, going through the trash in a dumpster outside of the apartment building and finding a small slip-on shoe on the ground. It's the same kind of shoe investigators say Elijah was last seen wearing.
Reminds me a little bit of the Quentin Simon case.
Of this whole entire situation. You know, at this point where we're not getting a lot of information.
Kendall, this afternoon, the Two Rivers city manager took to Facebook.
Patrick, he asked the public to be patient, but did say he expected an update from law enforcement tonight. 12 News has not heard from them officially since Elijah disappeared.
We'll be looking for that update, Kendall Keys, in Two Rivers tonight. Now, here's the criteria for an Amber Alert. According to the Justice Department, a child must be 17 years old or younger. They must be in danger of serious bodily harm or death. Police must have a good description of the child, the suspect, and or the suspect's vehicle that an immediate alert will help find the child. 12 News has been asking why this case met the criteria for an Amber Alert. So far, we have not received an explanation. Here are a couple different pictures of the missing child, Elijah Vu. If you have any information, call Two Rivers Police. You'll also find these photos to share right now on the 12 News app.
Right. Let me see if I can get that press conference to work now. See if it's starting to work now. 1 second. This is the newest one. It's from a half hour ago. They're also, let's see here. Here we go. All right. I don't know why the sound froze. All right, let me know how it sounds, guys.
Is everybody good? I moved the mic here, just want to make sure I was okay. That's why I asked.
The mother for this one is in jail right now.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Ben Meinert, the Chief of Police with Two Rivers Police Department. I'd like to provide everybody with an update on our efforts to locate a 3-year-old missing boy, Elijah Vu, who's been missing from our community since yesterday morning. Our hearts go out to Elijah's family during this incredibly difficult time. We want to assure them and the public that we are doing everything in our power to bring Elijah home safely. I will not discuss specific strategies related to the search for Elijah because I simply don't want to limit the information our community has to offer. Since the moment Elijah was reported missing, our law enforcement from local, state, and federal agencies, along with dedicated volunteers and community members, have been working tirelessly around the clock to search every inch of our city and beyond into the county. Our search and rescue teams have been combing through our neighborhoods, parks, wooded areas, and they've been following up on all leads and tips from the public. We still have an active Amber Alert. That Amber Alert for Elijah, we are continuing to follow every and all avenues. Elijah is a 3-year-old male. He was last seen at approximately 8 a.m. yesterday in the 3800 block of Mishicot Road here in the city of Two Rivers. Elijah is approximately 3 feet tall, 45 to 55 pounds, with brown eyes and dark blonde hair. He was wearing dark colored sweatpants and shoes with a dinosaur print. I want to take a moment to express our deepest gratitude to everyone who has volunteered their time, resources, and support to assist in the search for Elijah. Your unwavering commitment to the well-being of Elijah and our community is inspiring. We could not do this without you. As we continue our efforts, I want to emphasize the importance of remaining vigilant and proactive. Additionally, I want to remind everyone to please refrain from spreading rumors and false information. This can hinder our search efforts for Elijah. All official facts and information regarding this search will come from us at the Two Rivers Police Department. Let us focus on our collective energy on supporting one another and bringing Elijah home. If you haven't done so, please check your home surveillance and search your personal property, but also be mindful of others' private property. We urge anyone with any information, no matter how insignificant it may seem, please come forward and share that with law enforcement. Immediately, every piece of information could be the key to bringing Elijah home. Anyone with information can call the state tip line. We've provided that number, 844-267-6648, or utilize the P3 Crime Stoppers app. You can choose to remain anonymous. The Two Rivers Police Department will provide updates as more information becomes available. Again, thank you. Thank you once again for your continued support and all the cooperation that we've had during these challenging times. Thank you.
Chief, do you have the suspects right now? And where are the mother and father and all of them?
Sorry, we're not going to take any questions at this time. Thank you.
Can you talk a little bit about why this rose to the level of hamburger? Just talk about
It was a pretty crappy press conference, as far as if you ask me. I'm sorry. As far as I'm concerned, put on here. 1 second. All right, where's it at? This is from 8 hours ago in regards to this one, Elijah's case. To give you guys this update. Again, missing out of Manitowoc County. Here we go.
From Two Rivers as community members set out to find the little boy.
A group of volunteers got together along Martin Drive at 38th Street, and they gathered there to comb out through the neighborhood and through the wooded area that sits just behind the row of homes where the child was last seen. Now you can see that it is a pretty densely wooded populated area that sits right behind that row of homes where the child was last seen yesterday. Now from the dense wooded area, it goes a couple hundred feet, and then you've got more of a marshy swampland that just before you reach one of the two rivers here in Manitowoc County. Above the scene in News Chopper 12, Matt Salemi, WISN 12 News.
There is a tip line that's been set up to help find Elijah. The number is on your screen right now. It's 844-267-6648. 12 News has asked Two Rivers Police and the Wisconsin Department of Justice how this case elevated to the level of an Amber Alert, if they believe he was abducted, or if there's any vehicle description. So far, neither agency has answered our questions.
Sorry about that. Okay. Here's the other one from 22 hours ago. This one bugs me too because it's just a 3-year-old. Again.
Areas where law enforcement has set up a mobile command unit for the night, but we've seen the community walking up and down these sidewalks. Most who don't even know Elijah calling out his name, searching for him. Take a listen. Elijah! Crowds scanned sidewalks and yards, yelling for the missing 3-year-old. 12 News cameras capturing law enforcement focused on a multi-unit apartment building, collecting evidence from the dumpster and collecting a small slip-on shoe into an evidence bag. It's the same kind of shoe officials say Elijah had on the last time anyone reported seeing him. K-9 officers are scanning the area for any scent trail that might lead to Elijah. Tonight, we heard from people in the community who had been outside searching for hours.
As a mom of 3, my first thought was devastation. I would certainly hope that if it was my own child, my community would step in just as much as everybody is right now for this little boy. Working in healthcare, knowing what can happen being out for this long is definitely a scary thought for a little boy who's all by himself for almost 12 hours.
So, Kendall, police did not indicate someone took Elijah, nor did they provide a vehicle description. So how is this case elevated to the level of an Amber Alert? Well, Deanna, we put that question directly to Two Rivers Police and the Wisconsin Department of Justice. So far, neither agency is giving an answer to that question. We're going to continue pressing them for an answer. And we will, meanwhile, police are asking anyone to check their surveillance camera, any doorbell camera for sightings of Elijah. We've also put the number to the tip line on your screen. That number, it's 844-267-6648.
These are all the news broadcasts that have been put out on this. This is 3 hours ago.
Alert was issued for 3-year-old Elijah Vu. He was last seen at his home on Tuesday morning near 39th and Mishicot on Two Rivers. That's in Manitowoc County. And that's where we find our Stephanie Quirk live tonight. And Steph, what have you learned in just the last hour?
Yeah, well, Mary, we're actually right near the home where police say 3-year-old Elijah Vu was last seen. And since we've been here this afternoon, we've seen dozens of search parties out on the lookout for this young boy. Among them, some of his family members. The community in Two Rivers holding hope as they hand out flyers in the desperate search for missing 3-year-old Elijah Vu.
A little child like that go missing, especially in a small town like this.
On Tuesday, an Amber Alert was issued for Vu. The boy was last seen by his caregiver at home near 39th and Mishicot around 8 Tuesday morning.
It's just devastating.
Dozens of volunteers and search parties have hit the streets Wednesday, looking for any signs of Vu.
I can't imagine what that family's going through.
Among one of those search groups,
It's been very hard, very disheartening.
is Linda Vu, the 3-year-old boy's aunt.
We're trying to be hopeful. We've been, in contact with law enforcement, giving our all.
Police say Vu was last seen in gray sweatpants, a long-sleeved dark shirt, and wearing green dinosaur shoes.
Please keep your eyes open. Please check your daily rain camera.
Local, state, and federal law enforcement have been present as more and more people join the search.
Looking high, low, looking every place where a child could be.
Covering areas near Forest View Cemetery and Holy Cross Cemetery.
And everyone yelling his name.
As of Wednesday afternoon, police say there are no updates in the investigation. As for Vu's family members,
Trying everything we can to help out.
Gotcha, Deborah.
just
Thank
about
you.
an hour ago, the city of Two Rivers says police will provide an update at some point later today. As for now, authorities are asking people to check their doorbell cameras and be on the lookout. Reporting live in Two Rivers, Stephanie Quirk, Fox 6 News.
Stephanie, I know you talked to Elijah's aunt. Any word from her on how the parents are doing?
I did ask her about that. She said she hasn't been in contact with the parents of Elijah for a few years.
All right, Stephanie Quirk reporting live there. We'll look for updates later. Thank you.
as police, firefighters, and a large number of volunteers conduct a search of the Two Rivers area for 3-year-old Elijah Vu. Elijah's family watches in disbelief. We spoke to the uncle, making a plea for someone to come forward with information.
I mean, if they know where he is, we'd love to have him back. Other than that, we're as clueless as everyone else.
Pretty scary situation, I can only guess.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely.
At one point, we caught up with police after items were found outside an apartment complex, but they wouldn't confirm whether those items belonged to Elijah. Many of those helping with the search for the young boy are parents themselves or work at the school.
And it's just terrifying because I work with kids, and it's like I work for the school district in here, and it's like, oh my God, this could be a little kid I could know. You know, and it's just terrifying.
I couldn't imagine it being me in that situation. I would want as many people as can be to be looking for my child.
Search efforts even extended beyond the city as we saw fire trucks along County Road BB and ATVs searching farmland. Several boats were also launching from the Twin River Public Access. That's where we caught up with a volunteer who drove from Valders to help out.
There's people here from everywhere. I think every department in the county is out helping. Multiple people in all of Two Rivers community is out. I mean, there's staging areas at the church. The parking lots are full. The streets are full. And I mean, we've been here 15 minutes, and I bet 100 cars have gone by already.
Everybody just doing whatever it takes to find this little boy.
That's correct. Anybody's going to do anything. No one's going to sleep tonight until they have answers.
Watch breaking news on YouTube. Subscribe to ABC.
We got another one we're looking for. This is insane. Too much. Does anybody else have anything they want to throw up to talk about, throw out to talk about? It's all about that, you guys, too. So come on. Let's do this. Those are just a few things I wanted to talk about myself, but you guys are all here too, so let's do it. Let me see here. Where is it at? There is a link. Anybody's welcome. Let's talk about what you want to talk about, guys. Oh, wow. This one. Yeah. Forgot about this. I don't know if you guys saw this or not. Hold on. Did you guys see that case, that story about that, where this woman's daughter's body was found melted into the sofa? Did anybody see that? I did hear about that. 45. She's from Indiana. She was digging a hole and it caved in on her. They're charging the parents now. They initially charged the parents with murder on that one. Yeah, that was kind of a weird story to me. I just read something on that not too long here earlier. We also have, I don't know if you guys, for those of you that followed this. There we go. All right. This is such a weird story, you guys. Show you guys for those of you that did not know about it.
New information coming to light in the case of two deadbeat-ass parents near Baton Rouge, Louisiana, charged in a severe case of neglect. Now, we first told you about this story last night on The Factor. Sheila and Clay Fletcher are now out of jail after being indicted on second-degree murder charges. Their 36-year-old daughter died in a way no one should: severe and extreme neglect. She literally marinated in a couch for years, basically melted into it, and was found covered in feces, urine, and we're told large maggots. Chris Nakamoto, an investigative reporter in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, broke the story with my former photographer in Baton Rouge long ago, Joe McCoy. Now, if you thought details of the story we first told you about were just disgusting, Nakamoto says there's more. He joins us on The Factor now with where the parents are now.
He said deadbeat ass.
They actually had a bond set yesterday. It was $300,000 a piece. And then a bail bondsman came to assist them with that bail. But there was a little hiccup. He brought about $3,000 of money short that they needed to get out. So Sheila was able to get out last night, and Clay just bonded out this morning after they got some of the additional money. It really is just a horrific case of neglect. Both of them were indicted on second-degree murder charges Monday by a grand jury in East Feliciana Parish for basically letting their daughter, who had autism, rot away on a sofa, they believe, for possibly 12 years.
Wow. So how long was she dead before they called authorities, or did they call authorities? Give us the details on that, because it's not too clear.
Our sources think that she wasn't dead for very long. The parents were out of town the weekend before she was found. She was found Monday, January 3rd, and they had called saying that their daughter was unresponsive. And then immediately when, paramedics help arrived and then the coroner arrived, he said, we need to treat this like a crime scene. Basically, he could tell it was just utter neglect. Literally, her legs were embedded into the sofa, and she hadn't moved from there. It was basically, from what we were told, like a latrine or a cesspool that she was living in. Just horrific conditions. She had open wounds to the bone from her feet all the way to her buttocks, and essentially had gnats and maggots all around her body.
Oh my God, that's just incredible and just so damn sad. Now, how did they live in a house? Obviously, there are going to be smells. If she is sitting there in her feces, her urine, and sitting there for at least a decade, how did they live in that house?
So that's what's so interesting. I guess they were just immune to the smell after living in the filth for so long. Listen, we got a picture from the living room of the floors that were buckling underneath the sofa, the wooden floors, because it was just layers upon layers of human waste, urination, feces, all on those wood floors. And essentially, the coroner told me when he had showed up at that house, he couldn't eat for a week. And he's a practicing physician who's been doing this for 30 years, and he's seen a lot of neglect before. He said he's never seen a case like this. One of her causes of death was starvation, and they said she was so hungry, she was actually eating parts of the sofa around her. During her autopsy, they found sofa foam inside her stomach, along with feces. Feces were in her nostrils, they were in her mouth and her hair. Just a horrific, horrific case.
These people walked around this child all day long, just ignoring the fact that she was there. What the hell? What is going on? I don't understand this anymore. I don't. This is insane, folks. Insane.
What do we know about these damn parents? Who are they?
So
what did they do for a living? I mean, just who are these people?
They lived a normal life. The neighbors say they would see them come and go. They were always the church-going type, as they described them, always in church every Sunday. The mother worked for a prosecutor in the city of Zachary, which is probably about 15 minutes from where they live. And it's not really clear what the dad did. he may have been involved in some nonprofit type work, but it's really kind of unclear what he did for a living. Some of our sources say that the daughter, who was nonverbal at the time of her death, was very verbal when she was in school. She was on the volleyball team and she could recite things like that. Some of the people that went to school with her. So it seems like she really digressed over the last few years, and the parents, instead of picking up the phone to make a call and say, hey, we need some help over here to treat our daughter's condition, they just let her rot away on a sofa. It's literally one of the most disturbing stories we've ever covered in my 15 years doing this here in the Baton Rouge area.
It is just mind-blowing. And so did they ever have visitors over to the house, relatives over to the house? What did people say if they did, or did they just keep her locked up? Was she placed in like a living room or some secret room where no one would see her in that house?
So from what we're being told, she was actually in the living room, and here's the kicker. The mother literally had her recliner next to the sofa where her daughter was literally rotting away. And so the sofa was positioned in front of the TV, and she apparently had been there for possibly up to 10 years or so. We talked to one of the neighbors who I had asked, hey, have you ever been in their house? He said, yeah, I've been in their house. Well, how long ago was it? He said 15 years ago. We actually broke the news to the neighbor that Lacey had died. He didn't even know that his own neighbor's kid across the street had died 5 months ago. So they kind of kept to themselves, and it seems like over the past few years, they really retreated, and they were basically like hermits, not really coming, inviting people into the house.
Right.
Because certainly I would think if people were in the house and witnessed that and didn't do anything, you know, Louisiana is one of the mandatory reporting states. Those adults would have a real responsibility to report the neglect that they saw. And if someone was aware of this happening, they could possibly face charges too.
That is just incredible and mind-blowing. And you see so many pictures with the mother and father with their LSU shirts on, out having a good time, all while their daughter is sitting there just wasting away and dying. So what's the next step for prosecutors now? Obviously, you said they are out on bond. And so what's the next step now for investigators and prosecutors in the case?
So the next step now that they've been indicted by a grand jury, is they'll have an arraignment where they plead guilty or not guilty. And then as that happens, then the process will move ahead with, you know, motions, hearings, and then possibly a trial date that will be set. But that probably won't happen for a few more months or so. But the autopsy was completed back in March, and it was immediately ruled a homicide, Lacey's death. And the big question that a lot of the public here has is, why did it take 5 months, if she died in January, to arrest the parents when everybody who showed up that night realized this was a problem? They'd never seen anything like this. The stench hit them like a ton of bricks the minute the door was opened. So how in the world did it take 5 months to arrest these parents? And from what the sheriff said was, they wanted to make sure that all their I's were dotted, T's were crossed. They knew that this case was going to a grand jury this week, and they wanted to see what the grand jury was going to do. And I think prosecutors were pretty clear. They were going to be able to get a charge of cruelty to the infirm, or maybe even manslaughter or negligent homicide, but no one really expected that they'd be able to get a second-degree murder indictment, which, if convicted, would carry a mandatory life sentence in prison for the parents. And so second-degree murder shows they had intent to kill their daughter, who literally rotted away on the sofa for all those years, and it appears they did nothing to help her.
That's horrible. Well, all right, Chris, once again, excellent job in reporting. You guys broke this story, and it's just so sad and disturbing that someone had to go through this, but we appreciate the effort that you guys do and make right there in Baton Rouge. Thank you guys so much. Chris Nakamoto from WBRZ TV in Baton Rouge, and my good friend Joe McCoy, the photographer, who's somewhere over there hiding.
Here's a little more on it. This is insane to me. This child literally melted into a piece of furniture, folks. This is like something you'd see in a damn movie. This doesn't even seem realistic. how did a judge let them out on bond for this is what I don't understand.
Michelle Dupree. She's a retired forensic pathologist, former medical examiner, and former law enforcement officer. Dr. Dupree, thank you. You have also seen the photos. And again, my apologies, you've had to endure that as well. Even in your line of work, even in my line of work, I have found it very distressing. We were just talking, Dr. Hickey and me, about mom versus dad. Mom also didn't know the age of her daughter and had to be asked 3 times on the 911 call what was the age of her daughter. She finally settled on 31, but Lacey was 36. You've seen the photos, you've seen the aftermath. What are
Welcome
your
back.
thoughts about this crime as a whole?
This is horrendous. It's unfathomable. The degree of neglect and abuse that she suffered is inexcusable, and I hope that they are sentenced strongly.
You have mentioned stage 4,
I mean,
and pardon the pronunciation, is it decubitus ulcers or bed sores? Can you explain? I can't show the actual photos that really do illustrate the level of damage to this woman's physical tissues and body on her lower half. But can you describe as best you can to the audience what happened to Lacey?
Sure. Because she was sedentary, she was not moved, pressure builds up and it erodes the skin. It basically rots. And not only did it rot the skin, but it rotted all the way down to the bone. The bone was actually exposed. This is the worst stage. It causes sepsis.
Good
The
God.
person becomes infected, basically blood poisoning, and that leads to death. And it is from neglect.
How long did it take for this kind of injury pattern? And maybe you can help as we're looking at very graphic content, maybe you can help the audience understand the bruising, the discoloration, so much seeing on Lacey's back. Is that also part of what she suffered while alive, or is that blood pooling after death? And how long do you think it took for the horrendous injuries that we've had to blur to actually form?
For the decubitus ulcers to form to that degree, it would take several days, perhaps 10 days or so. So that was a little while. The rest of the body that we see really didn't take that long. As was mentioned, she basically was alive when she was filled with maggots and the bed sores. So she had a horrific death.
You said days, maybe weeks, but others
Oh my God.
believed it could have been months that it took for that kind of the depth of the damage to her tissues. Is it possible she was like that for months?
Oh, absolutely. Yes, absolutely.
I also just want to play very quickly a moment in the 911 call, and you are going to hear the mother being instructed by the operator to perform CPR. I believe she says that the husband is going to try. They can't get her off the couch onto the floor. Lacey is effectively on her side, folded over her crossed leg to the side. And I want you to listen to the sounds that are coming through the 911 call. Ostensibly, this is supposed to be the sounds of CPR, and I want to get you to judge whether this is real or whether it's fake. Here's the call.
Are we doing compressions or on the couch? If we can't get a floor, then we can do compressions on the couch then. Are we doing compressions now? Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna need you to count aloud with me, okay? So I can instruct you, okay?
You know, there are times, Dr. Dupree, where you can hear the husband's voice during that sound. And then there are other times where you can hear the wife's voice. It's certainly not likely to be Lacey's voice. She was dead. What are your thoughts just hearing those sounds of that 911, led CPR?
It was not CPR. It would be impossible to do CPR.
You can't do CPR on a piece of furniture, okay? Because of the reflex on it. It just doesn't, especially not like that. If she was sideways on her side, that doesn't make any sense to me. So it sounds to me like the mother was just standing there pushing up and down on something. It's not effective, going to be effective at all, because you have to basically you have to crack to break the rib cage for it to work. Okay. There's no way that happened on a couch like that.
To Lacey, in her condition, she was not able to even be stretched out. It would not be possible. That was not CPR.
You think it was just a fake breathing pattern that either the mother or father had been doing to satisfy the 911 operator?
Absolutely, in my opinion, yes.
Well, I wonder if that will come into the sentencing. Dr. Michelle, thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find.
All right, Clue, what you think about this shit?
That case just infuriates me. Like, I followed it when I mean, a while ago, and it just, me and fiance both were just reading it and watching it. And we're like, oh my God, like, I don't even know. Like, there's no words. How about that? Like, it renders me speechless. I just can't imagine what this is.
I'm going to tell you something. This woman lied. That's a lie, and I hope they use it in court. Because if she was dead for a period of time, rigor mortis will set in, and then go on. It comes in or comes upon the body, and then it relaxes itself back out. But then they do harden up, okay, when the body starts to set. She couldn't have done that with her knees bent like that. That's why she's still laying in that position on the coroner's table, okay? You can't do CPR unless you're completely stretched flat and you're laying on a hard, flat surface. She didn't do it. That's a lie. There's no way she did it. And that girl was probably deceased for days, okay?
Oh, yeah.
How do you not notice that until days after the fact? I don't get that. Yeah, any place that I have ever done, I've done it on people that were on beds, on couches and chairs, in their car. We've had to take them out of their car on the ground flat, off of a bed, flat on the ground, off the couch, flat on the ground, period. That's how that works. And stretch them out so that their back is touching a hard surface. And like I said, you're not effectively doing it on, well, she was very small, so it may have worked, but typically you have to actually break the ribs, the rib plate, the chest plate, for it to work, guys. There's no way. There's no way in hell. So these people are just insane. Obviously, to me, that's insanity, folks. That's pure insanity.
It's like, I don't know how you can do that to your child. You know what I mean? Like,
I don't think they regarded her as a child anymore. Clue. I think they disregarded that years ago. 12 years.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like,
it's insane. Go ahead.
That's what I was saying. Like, how do you all of a sudden, or even in the beginning, you just like, it's just this thing.
Yeah,
this inconvenience.
It seems like, thank you, because she became an inconvenience to them as they got older. You could see they were aging. They probably had her at a later age. There was pure selfishness is all it was, because she interfered with their lives, in my opinion, and they couldn't deal with it. Send her somewhere else that will take care of her then. Don't just let her die. It sounds to me like they forgot about her at some point and just walked around her and lived their life. And probably every now and then threw a piece of bread at her and a little bit of water, just to, oh, by the way, or if they were in a good mood that day, here you go. You know what I mean?
I mean, wasn't she like eating parts of the couch?
At some point, yeah. Yeah, at some point they found foam inside of her stomach. I mean, what in the hell is wrong with, and how do these people get a bond? I want to know that much. How?
It's crazy.
I've never seen anything like this before in my life.
I'm telling you, and it's just it's not hard to take a look around and see the sad state of affairs things are in. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
This is just another one of those things that adds to that. And like you said, how do they get out on bond? And I know what the answer is. Well, they're not a threat to anybody. And it's like, okay.
They're a threat to society breathing. I'm sorry. That's
that would be my point too, right? The fact that they're capable of letting that happen and doing that, consciously doing that, they're a threat to society by being out in it and possibly spreading anything that they're about to the rest of it, because that shit is infectious.
Yes, and I think they need to, my opinion, they need to convict them and throw them both into a prison cell and just forget about them. That's it. Do to them what was done to their daughter.
Right. Don't feed them.
Bingo. Let them see it.
About
for
say
the rest of their
water
life.
them, but don't give them water.
Yeah, I mean,
because we say we have to water the chickens. You know what I mean? So I say water them, but
No.
like don't give them anything. And, you know, and Julie Dunn said, "What about the odor?" And that's something that just to me,
How do you
because
get used to that?
wasn't
How do you
the house? Their house was like okay
on the
looking, wasn't it?
on the outside? It was really nice.
Yeah, like it was a really good looking house. I remember, and I'm like, where was this couch that the rest of your house would not just be put? Because
obviously they didn't have other people. I mean, look at the house, guys. It's a beautiful house.
like a gangrenous sore, it is like the most god awful smell, and you know that girl had tons of them. It's like, where in this house was this couch that
And
you guys
right
could
next
just
to
leave it alone?
right next to the mother's recliner. You get used. How could you get that used to that? I know what the smell. I know what that smells like. Okay.
Oh yeah, it's
I know
bad.
I know what human rot smells like, guys. It doesn't go. I'm smelling it right now as I'm talking about it. It doesn't go away. Once you smelled it, it's there forever. And they just lived in it. They lived in it comfortably. They would go out and come back and go out and come back like nothing. She worked for a flipping prosecutor. Are you kidding me?
Christ almighty.
12 years. So they started this when this girl was what, 18? Since she became an adult and was no longer going to school anymore. And then they had to deal with her because she was autistic and couldn't function in the real world. The school could no longer take care of her. Now that she was their whole problem, this is what happened.
Well, that now they wouldn't be in trouble if she wasn't at school.
Right. Nobody would know.
It's just like it's such a waste of like human life. Like if people just would ever just sit back and think about how insanely special you and everyone around you is as a person, like the odds of you being the one that was chosen to be born, nothing like this would ever happen, in my opinion.
Nope. Every day we see something 3-4 times a day now. Can I explain? Heather B asked, can I explain what? Okay. Human decomposition is a very strong, sour, sweet combination of a smell. It's very strong. It's very strong. I'm smelling it now. It's hard to explain in words. It doesn't go away. Okay. It does not go away. You could, if it, that couch obviously is trash, but that house itself will probably, it'll have to be burnt down to get rid of the smell. That's how strong it is. Okay.
It's like a mixture for me of like a skunk, a wet dog, and wet ketchup.
Honestly, I don't smell the skunk in it. There's no, it's very hard to explain. Like we used to use
skunk because that's so like everyone knows like that. It's one of those smells that like when it hits you, it
hits you. Yeah. So like, have you ever smelled like rotting
meat?
Like like roadkill or rotten meat when your freezer goes bad or something like that. You know what I mean? Take that smell and multiply it by 1,000,000. It's that strong. We had a friend of ours who lost his partner. He unalived himself, okay, and was missing for 3 months. When we found the car he did it, he had a Cadillac, and he went and unalived himself in the backseat of a Cadillac about 20 miles from where everybody lived. They finally found him. 3 months later, and he had been through winter and part of summer, so things were freezing and unthawing and so on and so forth. Mark got the car back. Of course, there was an indent on the floorboard where the guy had fallen down onto the floor, and the indent was there. It never went away. Okay. We went in and scrubbed the car with simple green, purple power, bleach. The interior was that tan, you know, what the tan carpeting and stuff. Scrubbed it and scrubbed it and scrubbed it, and carpet, and just scrubbed it by hand, and carpet, like, cleaned it, and multiple times steam cleaned it, this and that. The indent never left, and the smell was always in the car. He had the car for another 7 to 8 months, and it would not go back, no matter what we did. Air fresheners, everything. Okay. We had, and he had one time cut the carpet out of the back in that area to try to get rid of it. It was worse once he cut the carpet out. So we scrubbed the floorboards under the carpet. Okay. And cleaned them and did this to him and that and bleached and everything. It never went away. He had to sell the car. I don't know whatever happened after that, but it's that strong, you guys. It does not go away. We used to take, before we go into a home, we would either rub Vicks under our nose, which didn't work half the time, or use the smelling salts to get that smell out of our faces. And you still, like I said, I smell it to this point. Right here as we're talking about it. It's not around me, but I can still smell it. It's just bad. It's horrible. Absolutely horrible.
And that's what, like, it's so crazy because for me, it's like the wounds, like that is something too, that if you're ever around one that's like really infected, you know what you're around, you know what I mean? And knowing that she had like a lot of them, it just, I don't know. I could.
The fact that this girl had the open wounds with maggots inside of her as she was still breathing, I'm sorry to gross anybody out, but like, come on, guys. It was insanity. I don't understand this. I don't understand how you walk around this. I don't understand how you sit near this. I don't understand how you live in this house with this. And when did they notice she was gone? Did they check every now and then to see if she's breathing or something? Or did they just realize that, you know, I already covered this here. Thank you, Pisces. I got your, and the thing is, this is such a sweet looking girl too. You know what I mean? Unbelievable. All because they were lazy. That's what it was. Yeah, we just watched this, Pisces. Thank you though, hon. I appreciate that. I think there's another one too. Hold on. And I don't understand what these people think is going to happen now. What do you think? You're going to live a normal life? No. They're going to be convicted of this in a bad way, I think. I hope they are. They don't deserve anything better than that.
Considering that they got bond, I don't know how much. I mean, I don't know how you can't convict them, but I don't know how bad the sentence will be. I mean, it just, you know, that's just kind of the way I see it.
If it's not terrible, then I'm trying to tell you right now, that is a true sign of our society.
Well, and I mean, that's what I say. I don't think it will be. I would say less than 10 years each would be my guess.
They're saying that they were trying to go for life imprisonment on this, which I think they should.
They should.
They should, and I hope that's what happens. But I just, you know, we'll see what happens.
What about the rest of their family or their friends or anybody not asking, like, where the daughter is? Ever?
Right.
Over a 12-year period of time, or did they tell everybody she died?
Oh, this is a good one, this video.
Yeah, this is interesting, folks. Here we go.
Gators to forget. Last January, what was left of her rotting 100-pound body was found embedded, melted into a couch in her parents' Louisiana home.
He's seen a lot of neglect before. He said he's never seen a case like this.
What 36-year-old Lacey Fletcher went through is nothing short of a nightmare. Lacey never stood a chance at a
Okay, she was 36. I'm sorry. I had that timeline off. So this started when she was 25. So they probably had a few years of her being an adult and couldn't take it anymore and just said, all right, piss on it. You're on your own. What? 100 pounds, soaking wet this girl was. God.
A normal life, not because of her condition, but because of her evil parents. You guys, by the end of this video, I'm pretty sure you'll conclude that not everyone needs to have children. Certainly not these two people. Sheila and Clay Fletcher didn't raise a child. They kept a prisoner and mocked her for needing love and attention. Lacey's story is one of the most tragic cases we've ever covered here. Let's explore all the details behind her terrible life and death. In a pretty ironic way, this story takes us to the small town of Slaughter, Louisiana. But despite its terrible name, this 1,000 people town is as peaceful as can be. These are the streets Lacey Fletcher grew up on, and this is the house she grew up in with her parents, Sheila and Clay. They were very well-respected people in their community, and many people looked up to them. Clay was a member of the Baton Rouge Civil War Roundtable and the Planning and Zoning Committee in the town. His wife, Sheila, was a town alderman and assistant to the city prosecutor. They went to church every weekend and were kind to all who knew them.
They go to church, you know.
Again, I can't get past the fact that this woman worked for the city prosecutor. What? You're kidding me. Like, how? What? Oh my God. God.
Every weekend, and we do anything for anybody.
Don't you find it extremely scary that some of the worst people on earth are hidden in plain sight? On January 3rd, 2022, at around 2 a.m., Sheila phoned the emergency services. Her 36-year-old daughter had stopped breathing. She didn't give them a lot of details. It almost sounded as if she blamed her daughter for passing away. But when the paramedics arrived at Lacey's home, they discovered a scene that would scar them for life. Immediately, they phoned law enforcement, news stations, and the town's coroner, Dr. Ewell Bickham. Ewell would later say, "I opened the door, walked into the house. There was a stench, an odor, fecal matter, urine, you couldn't hold your breath." But that's just to put it lightly. Ewell had been the coroner for 3 decades. Needless to say, he'd seen his fair share of disturbing sights and smelled a lot of uncanny things.
Dr. Ewell Bickham could not release specifics with a pending grand jury hearing, but told me in his 30 years as a practicing physician, he could not eat for a week and cried for a week.
Everyone who set foot in that house on January 3rd was marked for life. The sheriff was quoted saying, "I've been a sheriff for 6 years and I've had a lot of things happen here in East Valencia Parish, but this type of scene is by far the worst." Lacey hadn't just stopped breathing that day. She had stopped living in the way that we all know many years ago. When the paramedics found her, she was practically fused with the living room couch. Her skin had melted into the couch long before she had passed away. Dr. Ewell concluded that the only way this could have happened is if she hadn't moved from the couch for around 12 years. The autopsy report said Lacey's cause of death was acute medical neglect, dating back to at least 2010. The couch was filled with waste. Lacey's skin from her waist down was red. Lacey had been sleeping in a makeshift toilet for over a decade. The rest of the autopsy details are too gruesome to mention here. Just to summarize, while their daughter was melting into a toilet couch in the center of their home, jolly old Sheila and Clay went to church, praised God, and acted heroes to their community. Needless to say, they were arrested and charged with unaliving their daughter. But it would be a long, hard investigation that would reveal even more sinister details about this family. You see, Lacey was diagnosed with severe Asperger's syndrome as a child, but that did not impact her social life that much in her first years. She went to public school, and her peers knew her as vocal and outgoing. She was on the volleyball team, and she was perfectly able to work in any sort of team or group of people. One of her former school friends remembered, "Lacey Fletcher was one of the sweetest people you could ever meet, who welcomed friendships. I remembered her as a sweet, kind person. She was one of the first people that I was friends with when I started school, and she was already there. She was thoughtful, just sweet is the word that I keep coming back to." There was not a bad bone in her body. People remember Lacey as kind and quiet, but vocal when it came to sharing her opinions. She was also quick to help anyone who seemed in need of a helping hand. But when she was around 14, her parents pulled her out of school and began homeschooling her. Reportedly, her autistic behaviors had worsened.
Just knew she was, you know, different. She used to come out and, you know, walk, but I hadn't seen Lacey in 5 years.
As a teenager, Lacey spoke less and interacted less with people around her. Her neighbors saw her walk around the house, but she wasn't necessarily friendly or outgoing anymore. One neighbor said she became different. She just didn't see things the way a lot of other kids did. "I last saw her around 15 years ago, like my dad. I wouldn't say I was a particular friend. She'd hang out with my younger brother sometimes, but she was definitely different from other kids her age. She was smart. She was smart as hell. But I guess the best way to put it is that she wasn't as mature as us." Well, mature is perhaps not the best word here. Asperger's syndrome, a form of autism spectrum disorder, is a developmental disorder. Young people with Asperger's syndrome have a difficult time relating to others socially, and their behavior and thinking patterns can be rigid and repetitive. In other words, Asperger's can impact your social life, so you might not seem as emotionally mature as others your age. She still liked children's things, not teenage things. When she was 17 or 18, she was more into Disney movies and country music. She did invite us over to watch Disney movies despite being more withdrawn, but that wasn't my forte. I was 18 and I used to ride motorcycles. This is what the neighbor remembered from 15 years before. Creepily, people around Slaughter started seeing Lacey less and less, until they didn't see her at all. Being of adult age, they assumed she might have left town and moved on with her life. No one knew she was fusing into her couch just a few feet away from their own homes. Here's where the situation gets a little murky. There are two conflicting reports about Lacey's 20s. One report says that Lacey had begun suffering from locked-in syndrome. This is a very rare condition where the patient is completely mentally cognate, yet unable to move parts of their body. According to this report, Lacey became locked into a position with her legs crossed on the couch. However, according to another report, Dr. Ewell denied Lacey having the syndrome. He said, "I don't know where that term came from or what source it came from. In all my years as a practicing physician, I have never heard of that term. The only diagnosis that I know she did have was first social anxiety, severe autism, and that's it. Those are her only two diagnoses." Of course, the first report was to help her parents' case, if only by a little bit. If she was stuck in a cross-legged position, that might explain why she didn't move from the couch. However, it wouldn't explain why her family didn't take her to a doctor and why they left her to rot on the sofa. And on Monday, January 3rd, 2022, when they called 911, Sheila and Clay had just returned from a weekend trip. Lacey was left by herself in that house, unable to get water and food for herself for 3 days. Another neighbor of the family said about that day, "There was one neighbor here, we don't know who it was, who had supposedly seen Lacey on the couch like that and told the parents they had to call the police. And that's what we were told. I don't know how much truth there is in that." Were it not for that neighbor, would Lacey's parents have just buried their daughter in the backyard?
We begin with a case that has been hard for even the most seasoned investigators to forget.
Lacey's case made headlines in Louisiana, then the US, then the rest of the world. Things like this just don't happen, and it's good that they don't.
Last January, what was left of her rotting 100-pound body was found embedded, melted into a couch in her parents' Louisiana home.
Indeed, Lacey weighed just 96 pounds when she was taken from her home. The autopsy report confirmed chronic malnutrition, acute starvation, immobility, acute ulcer formation, osteomyelitis, otherwise known as bone infection, and finally, sepsis. This hadn't been the first time her parents left her unable to fend for herself while they went vacaying for the weekend. She had been in a state of near starvation for years, and that was just one of the unspeakable horrors she lived through for decades. When Sheila and Clay were arrested, they didn't show an ounce of remorse. Sheila even claimed that she cleaned her daughter's sores. Excuse me? She was covered in waste. It was found in her ears and mouth too. She died of sepsis. Shockingly, they were released on $300,000 bonds within 36 hours. The rest of the Fletcher's home was tidy. On May 2nd, 2022, Sheila and Clay stood trial for taking their daughter's life. Photos were shown to the jury, both from the crime scene and from the coroner's office. The jury gasped, sighed, and cried. These photos were never released to the public. By the end of the trial, the jury concluded Sheila and Clay were guilty of second-degree murder, even though their initial charge was manslaughter. Their lawyer is still working to have their charges reduced to manslaughter. After they posted bail, he said, "They don't want to relive the pain of losing a child through the media. They have been through a lot of heartache over the years. Anyone who has lost a child knows what it's like." Excuse me? How can this be about them at all? Anyone who has lost a child, they took Lacey's life. They cannot play victim here. Apart from complaining about cleaning her daughter's sores, Lacey's parents also claimed their daughter was of sound mind to make her own decisions. According to them, it was Lacey's choice to never leave the couch. How could you possibly accuse your child of rotting on a sofa? Again, they had 12 years to phone a doctor or seek help for her worsening condition. Also, no person in their right mind would live with that sight or smell. Apparently, Lacey had been going to the toilet for so long in that spot that even the floorboards under the sofa had begun to decompose and rot too.
We spoke with the coroner last year. He said, look, I deal with death every day, and this is something that I can't even get out of my head. The smell was just awful. He said the minute he walked into that house, he left and actually had to vomit in the front yard.
And yet, the Fletchers lived there like it was nothing. They just thought that this was what they had to do as their daughter refused to move.
This is her parents were coming and going, living normal lives, going to work. Meanwhile, they have their daughter who had not gotten up from the sofa in what the coroner estimates was possibly years.
This horrific case has one last shocking twist. In the summer of 2023, Sheila and Clay Fletcher's charges were dropped after the judge discovered prosecutors had mistakenly used defective language for charges of cruelty against infirm people.
They were charged with murder and cruelty to the infirm, and from our understanding, it can't be both. And so, as the DA was kind of looking at everything, their lawyers filed some court motions that basically had those charges removed. So the new indictment was tossed on a technicality, but we did speak with the district attorney, and he says he plans on bringing it back up and having this couple re-indicted because he believes justice won't be served until they serve jail time.
It's crazy that these people aren't already in prison and that it takes so much work to put them behind bars. Yep. In the summer of 2023, a year and a half since poor Lacey was found, her evil parents were still walking free.
We're just outraged by this. Is there a chance that if this mother and father of Lacey Fletcher's re-indicted, could it be a lesser charge or will it still be murder?
When we spoke with the DA, it sounds like he's trying to press on and go after these two people on the murder charge because of what had happened to Lacey.
It's $1 million question to think of what had happened to Sheila and Clay to be so far removed from humanity. To think it's normal to live in that smell next to your rotting daughter and feel no remorse as you let her starve and go on vacation, terrible. Terrible things must have happened in these people's childhoods too. However, that is irrelevant here. When you have a child, you have a responsibility to care for them. Keeping them clothed, fed, and clean is the bare minimum. If you can't do that, just don't have kids. Here's a piece of good news though. At the end of June 2023, the couple was rearrested and charged once more with second-degree murder. The district attorney, Sam D'Aquila, said, "We will ensure there is justice for Lacey and the public knows that caregivers will be charged for neglecting or abusing a person in their care." As of October 2023, Sheila and Clay are yet to receive their sentences. Anyone following the case feels for Lacey and hopes to see both her parents in prison for the rest of their lives. Whatever the case, let's remember Lacey as an innocent person who did not deserve what happened to her. No one does. It's heartbreaking to think that anyone should go through what she did. The only thing we can do is raise awareness and try to remember and honor Lacey as best we can. And if you ever see something that doesn't look right, phone someone who can help. Who knows how many neglected kids could be saved if we all become a little more proactive. Hey, as always,
There's that one too, folks. And again, I can't process this, you guys. I can't. I've seen some really, really bad stuff, but this doesn't process in my mind as anything that even makes sense to me. What were you gonna say?
It just makes me, I don't even know how you could defend someone like that. Like a criminal or whatever defense attorney, like
How does an attorney defend this?
Well,
they don't want to go through the pain of losing
that's what I was going to say. The defense aspect of it is one thing. If that's what you make your living, that's the case that you got, so be it. But you don't have to come out and make that public statement. And I'll be damned if I would do that, if I were involved in that whatsoever. You would not catch those words coming out of my mouth representing those people. And if that meant I had to walk away from them, that's what I'd do.
right.
That's
Like
crazy.
that's my thing. Like if this was my case, no, you need to find somebody else. Like you would no, there's no way.
They lost their
I'd have told him I can't do this. There's no way in hell. Sorry.
They lost their kid the moment they gave up on it.
Right.
So it ain't like this is fresh for them when that's said, right? Like y'all lost your kid when you decided to give up on it.
That kid, in my opinion, because God knows what her life was like when she was still functioning and in school. It probably wasn't even the best at that point either. If this ended up this way, so in my opinion, that girl never had a chance at life ever.
And such a pretty smile. Like she had the best. That
Gorgeous.
girl had the best smile to me.
Beautiful girl, very, very much so. These things are so sad to me, but like I said, they need to be put out so that people can see and hear the horrors of what's going on in our society, guys. It's disgusting. They would, Terry. That's another thing too. If you live in that house, guys, it's known, and you're around that smell, it's gonna stick to your clothing. So wherever these people would go, they obviously had a smell to them. Nobody noticed that. Nobody.
I was thinking that when they showed that picture of her in that jersey, and she's like got her hands up, the mom. I'm like, how in the world did people never like?
They had to have. They just probably didn't want to be rude and say, "Hey, y'all stink." You know what I mean? Wow.
Mm.
Yeah.
And it's hot in Louisiana too. Like, good Lord.
I just don't get it. I don't get it. Come on, Randy. Come on up here.
Oh yeah, they went to work. Like they were just out living their best lives.
I still can't get past the fact that she worked for a prosecutor for the area.
Well, you know what else is crazy too? If you look at them, like they had money.
Oh yeah, they were well off.
That F-350 they got in.
They could have paid somebody to take care of her with no problem, but chose not to do it. And that girl would still be with us right now, probably living an okay life, or said, you know what? Put her in a home, hand her over to the state, make her a ward of the state. If anything else, they'll take care of her. Move on. If that's what you really got to do, if your selfishness is that deep, then do it. Don't let this girl's life go by. Okay. And it doesn't make sense to me.
I kind of agree with Pickle. Like there's got to be a missing piece where she had this life. Like obviously she's on a volleyball team. She's
where it stopped. Yeah, something happened where it stopped. Well, they said that she may have had a version of this autistic where she locked down syndrome. I've never heard that in my life. That doctor said it didn't exist either. But the thing is maybe she did start to lock down by her own doing, because a lot of times with autism, if you're not working with these kids or as adults and keeping them moving, they do kind of give up. Okay. Twizzle said locked in is real. So, okay. I've never heard of it before, but so be it. If that's the case, that's probably where they gave up right there and said, I can't handle this. So you call in a nurse or somebody that can come in and help her. That's my opinion.
And he's a doctor.
Yeah. Is he Dr. Death? That's what I'm gonna call him. What's up, Randy? How you doing, brother?
Doing good. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Oh my God, this is the craziest thing I've ever heard. It's just not right. I jumped in earlier and God, Dago, are you serious? This woman being left on a couch for what, 12 years?
12 years.
Crazy. What is wrong with people? I'm just so frustrated hearing this story. I had to jump in here and say this is crazy.
This is probably the worst case of neglect I've ever seen in my life, ever.
Absolutely.
Seen a lot. It's real. It's just real. It makes you wonder, does this go on another, like, where else does this happen? Because it can't be. This isn't the only person. This isn't the only person.
You're right.
Well,
You're right.
You know, talking about the sentencing, right, of this, I was just sitting here thinking about that. And I'm like, the whole purpose or what they present, the purpose of the prison system is to be a reforming thing. And it's like, how could you possibly reform people that will let that happen? You know what I mean? And
yeah, that's rehabilitation. How do you rehabilitate somebody?
Not happening, Cletus. Not happening, Cletus.
And if that's the case, then it's like, well, I mean, it. Some people would say it seems harsh, but it's like, I mean, if you don't have any plan or hope to rehabilitate, then what the hell do you do with somebody like that you've got to remove from society? Like it's crazy. It's craziness.
How did these parents get off? How did they,
Well, the charges were dismissed the first time, okay, because of some mistake that was made within the sheriff's department. And then they were rearrested, I think it was. Is that what I heard in that story? And then they bonded out this last time. I don't know how there's a bond. I don't know how there's anything. How are you allowed to let these people walk on the streets? That's what I don't get.
That's not right. That's absolutely not right. These people should have not been let go. They should have been charged immediately. That's this disgusting story. It's a disgusting story.
Never heard of this before. I could not believe it. Yeah, that's true, Felicity. it would have been cheaper to pay to take care of her than it was to pay the bondsman and to pay for the rest of their legal fees. It's going to be and to pay. They're going to have to pay. Well, they probably won't, but they should have to pay for her burial and the funeral and all of that stuff, and definitely should not be allowed to be there. But yeah, all of that stuff would have been way cheaper to pay to take care of her. And at some point, the child probably could have gotten a disability check and insurance, and it would have paid for everything it needed to take care of her.
So this is where I stand on this one.
I'll be
You
right
guys
back.
have money. You have the means. You have no excuse. So for me, it's almost like it was something personal against her.
Like what?
That I don't know.
The only thing I could even begin to reason is it's a level of frustration where they just throw their hands up and they're like, well, we're just going to go on with our lives, which, I don't support, but it's like I could reason how that could happen.
But you
what
could
I
do the
mean?
same thing if you hired private care.
No, I'm with you.
So do you
But
see what
it's
I
a-
mean?
It's a huge. It's all about selfishness, right?
But
Like that's what it is. It's 100% selfish mindset to let
You can
somebody-
only be so selfish. How can you leave her on the couch? I mean, is there no?
I mean, there are people, that are that selfish. That whatever is best for them is all that matters. I mean, I've met them, and they do exist, and it's that's got to be what it is.
You know what, Clue? I'm with you on what you just said. A personal thing, like they felt like she took their life away from them or something, and they're like, so we're just not going to take care of you, and this is your payback for ruining our lives or something like that.
Right.
That's what it looks like.
That's what it feels like to me because you had the money to have her taken care of. So it's really almost like it was something about her.
Yeah.
You guys ever
Personal.
read a book? It's called The Child Called It.
No,
Oh my gosh. If you guys do not go buy that book and read it, it's terrible. Like it's a true story. The guy who wrote the book is the little boy in the book. And he describes the like abuse and stuff that he went through with his mom. And she had other kids and she was not like that to the other kids. So it's almost like she had something personally against him, right? Does that make sense? That's what this feels like to me too. Like you have the ability to take care of her, you just aren't doing it. Yes, Felicity, there are 3 books.
Yeah.
They are amazing. I mean, they're terrible to read. Like it will just break your heart, but they are really like you can't put it down.
What is it called again?
It's either the or but I think it's The Child Called It.
I have to look that up.
Yeah, really, because it sounds like A Child Called It.
No, look at you guys. In this, I am so impressed right now with the people in this chat.
Why?
They all know this book. That is amazing.
Those are good people. And Dave Pelzer is the guy that was the author.
It's about him. Like I'm talking about it's terrible. Like the things that he endured it's crazy.
This is him here. Is an American author of several autobiographical and self-help books from 95 memoir, of childhood abuse. A Child Called It. One child's courage to survive was listed on the Union. Wow. 5 years, sold 1.6 million copies. So this is the guy that endured all this, and then he wrote a story about it. It says that describes from his viewpoint the severe abuse he suffered as a child. He writes how his mother was physically and emotionally abusive towards him from ages 4 to 12. Describes how his mom starved him, forced him to drink ammonia.
Yes.
Stabbed him in the stomach, burned his arm on the gas stove, forced him to eat his own vomit. I've heard this story before. I have heard this story before. I'm telling you.
That's crazy.
He mentioned that his father was not active in resolving or stopping the conflicts between Pelzer and his alcoholic mother. He was sent to foster care at age 12 and 73. His book, The Lost Boy, covers the time frame when he was in foster care. In his books, he refers to his relatives by pseudonyms. By the time Pelzer was taken out of the home, he had already suffered a great deal mentally. This caused Pelzer to act out growing up. Although the main abuse had stopped, he faced continued mental anguish throughout his teen years. Of course he did. And wrote a letter to his mom saying he loved her as his mother, but would never see her again. She died before he could send it. Oh, that sucks. Throughout the rest of his life, he somewhat healed from the abuse, but never would forget what he had been through. Good Lord, have mercy. This is what I mean, you guys.
What is up with this world these days?
Don't have children.
I just don't understand this stuff going on. It's crazy.
This was a while ago.
I was just sitting here. That was my exact thought. Is just what in the hell? Like this week alone, the things that we've gone over.
Right.
It's Wednesday. Like
this week alone. Yeah, this week alone. You're right.
I'm just like, yeah, I'm ready to turn on cartoons for a few days now or something.
It's time to get back to some Scooby-Doo or something, because I think we've all been we're overly desensitized at this point.
The stories, Dago, that you've brought up in just this video are crazy. I can't understand what is up with this world, with this stuff that's going on. I just, oh my God, please.
It's scary. It is so very scary. Moderators, you guys, are there moderators in here? Where are you guys? Bear with me, panel. Go ahead on talking. I'm trying to deal with something over here real quick.
I don't see any wrenches.
Do I have any mods in here?
I don't think so.
Everybody go to bed or what? What's up? What's up? What's up? Oh, sorry, Licity. Take you off the panel there for a minute.
Well, we can say hello to Clamati and Mati and Cletus. What a great video earlier today.
Oh yeah, you guys did a great job with that again. And again, guys, we got to make some noise on that one and get that case open back up and figure out why and in the hell that there is no justice in that case. None.
Yeah, this guy's just walking around like
it's literally like a situation where I'm just sitting here trying to rationalize how any of this makes sense and actually have a system and a justice system, and it's almost like a situation where
it's crumbling,
where it's damn crumbling. It's crumbled, or it's a situation where it's like, okay, let's just let everybody take on street justice.
Well, so I think it's laziness. Well, you know what I mean? But here's the thing. That's only when I say it's crumbling, there is still sometimes where you see justice served. The problem is these kids coming up today, they're the ones that are going to be your judge, juror, etc. in the future. And if you think that it's lazy now, oh my gosh.
I mean, I'm kind of starting to think that the cases where justice actually gets served are kind of like, one of those things where it's just the
fiction story.
Odds are that eventually we're gonna get a win, and that's kind of what we see, right?
Today's only Wednesday, folks, and we have talked about from Monday, because I wasn't live Sunday, to today, between my channel, Clue's channel, we've talked about nothing but a missing child that is deceased now, another missing child. We just looked at that case right there. And a couple other little things. All of this within 3 days.
Crazy.
It's insane.
Tomboy, I 100%, and I still stand by that. I can't blame everything that happens every time on stuff like mental illness.
Yeah, crazy and evil. Evil's real.
Right. There are really pure evil people in this world, and they have no rhyme or reason. They're just inside, they're just ugly.
Something happened. Well, see, and that's the thing is, my mom told me not too long ago these things have been going on for years, son. We didn't see it, you know, because we weren't looking for it at that time. And it's got a good point that we came out here and started looking for these things, and now we're finding them, and it's blowing our minds because we don't expect the world around us to be like this because it's not who we are. Okay. And in a way, she's right. But what in the hell? What happened to people that they do these things? Why? I mean, it's not all mental health. I don't believe it's all mental health. There is a lot, yes, and it does need help. But I do believe that this planet, that pure evil people walk this planet with, no doubt. I agree.
100%.
Yeah, I'd rather be watching Tom and Jerry Moonlit. It was a hell of a lot easier to deal with than this. Society, that's a big one, Catacomb. That's true. That's why I've tried to promote the positivity that I do within just this one channel. Because people don't care anymore. They don't. It's very sad.
There you go. I jumped in tonight, probably a little late, but
that's okay. It's okay, buddy. Appreciate
the stuff that you're covering is just unbelievable. Why is this going on in our world? It makes no sense whatsoever. I mean, you brought up stuff tonight that I've never heard of, you know, with these cases, and I'm blown away. I am blown away. I don't understand why people act this way, and this is going on a regular basis. It's not
right. Yeah.
Right.
Salty says, look at true crime in just the past 40 years. None of this would be too surprising anymore, which is true.
Right.
It's our world has become, it's just become something that I'm afraid of it. I'll be honest with you guys. I have a huge fear of life itself around us anymore. I'm scared to death for my grandkids.
That's me. I'm scared for like
Scared
my
to death.
kid and grandkid. Like if it, oh my gosh, I can't even imagine. I don't even want to imagine.
Well, we've talked about this before, you guys. First of all, most people, younger people, the more, everybody's become desensitized. First off, there's no fear of consequence anymore. There's no fear of authority anymore. And authority, what is authority, guys? What is authority anymore? What does authority mean? You know, the law enforcement that's there to protect and serve. Well, look at the Delphi case. Is that protecting and serving? Look at the case that Clue just did today and Buzz did last night. Is that protecting and serving? No. So what do we have anymore that we can trust? What do we have to go to? Our children look up to us. They look up to all of us to protect them. Who do we go to? Okay. And it's being failed. It's being failed all the way down the ladder, folks. All the way down.
Totally agree. There's cops. I mean, cops. Can you trust them anymore? It's just crazy. It's not right. How? I don't have children. I've been married for almost 30 years. And we have no children, and that was because I actually didn't believe that it was a good time to have children.
Right.
And now seeing all this stuff happening, I mean, I'm glad that I made that decision. My wife and I made that decision, but you know, it's just not right. What's going on? And oh God, I'm so frustrated. I can't tell you.
It's very scary. By the way, that book that Clue was talking about, A Child Called It, there's a movie out for it. So look it up, guys. Yeah, there is. I'll show you. Where's it at? The trailer. It's probably a low budget film. It looks like it is. Hold on here.
Yeah, low budget doesn't mean anything as long as
it doesn't mean it won't be any good. I just want to see it. Why can't I make it any bigger than this? But yeah, there's a trailer for it. Hold on a minute.
There's no way it can be as good as that book. I'm telling you.
Oh, nothing. None of the movies are never anywhere near as good as books. We know that.
Mm-hmm.
I guess I'll do that.
12 years in a couch. Come on.
Yeah, I know, right?
Jesus, please. What is wrong with people?
No, it's not going to let me do that. Yeah, like I said, it was an inconvenience to these people, in my opinion.
But for 12 years?
Yeah.
An inconvenience? 12
They weren't.
years?
They wanted to live their lives how they wanted to live it without having to have that burden on them, and that's what they did. It's disgusting.
Definitely disgusting.
I don't care if you want to have kids or not have kids. All you got to do is call somebody or oh, there's a couple of these movies it looks like.
Yeah.
Oh, it's on YouTube too. Here we go. This is the trailer for it, real quick, guys.
Do it.
A Child Called It. It's a good point, Salty.
My mother was a smoker. She always was. My mother was angry, unhappy a lot. She would sometimes take it out on me. Even if I was doing exactly what she wanted me to do, she would find a reason to hit me. She liked to smack my face against the glass of the mirror. That was one of her favorites. Never felt like a son to her. I've always felt like a slave. I'm scared to be in my own house.
There it is. It's a YouTube. It's on YouTube. So, just look it up. A Child Called It. It's a movie that they put on YouTube based on the books. So,
Oh, the movie is on YouTube.
yeah, it's showing it. It's on. Yeah, YouTube. It's a YouTube movie. So,
What you see here is a product.
there's a couple different versions of it too. And the books are not expensive. You can get the books for $4.89, $6.19.
Yeah.
eBay, ebooks, thrift books, Amazon. So yeah, I'm gonna be picking it up and checking it out.
When did this happen?
Does it say in the Wiki? The book was published in 95. So 19. His teacher stepped in in 1973. So he turned 18 in 1979. He was born in 1960. So from 1960 on to whenever. Very sad. Very sad.
We're getting more and more of these stories. It's crazy. A lot of this stuff that's coming out now. You're talking about something, from the 60s or 70s or whatever. And, you didn't hear about this back then. And now all of a sudden we're hearing about all these situations.
Yeah.
So frustrating.
It's real.
I'm sorry.
It's real, folks. And it happens daily. Yeah, that Sylvia Likens case was insane, Heather. I remember that. They made a movie about that too. That was insane. Crazy.
Didn't hear that
Horrible.
one.
Horrible stuff, you guys. Horrible stuff. It's real.
Didn't hear that.
Yeah, that one. Look up Sylvia Likens. Another horrible story. And it's real. Very real.
So I wanted to say Clemati had a great live today.
Well, thank you.
You're welcome.
That
Yep.
story hit me so hard last night on Publicly Buzzed. I was like, the parents, like, I just couldn't even imagine. Like, no.
There it is, too. American Crime. Watch that movie, you guys. Find it and watch it. I'm telling you, that story's, oh my God. I didn't even believe that was a real story. It said it was based on true events, and I said, no, there's no way in hell. And I went and looked it up, and it absolutely is, every bit of it.
What's that, Dago?
This movie here, it's called American Crime. It's about the Sylvia Likens story.
Oh, okay.
This is deeply insane, folks. This woman, oh my God, it's just crazy. Some Beth Thomas currently would resort back to being psychopath. Right, that's another one too. Beth Thomas story. God, 6-year-old documentary. Watch that. Yeah, that one's. I've heard about that. I've not got to see that, but I know the story behind that. There's just so much of it, you guys. So much of it. Like, you know, it's almost a more disheartening feeling, because what can we do?
Well, I think Clue was looking at me a little bit ago, because I'm sitting here playing with this box in my hand, because I'm sitting here thinking, and it's like, you know, just thinking about the reality of it. It's like Randy's, or I'm sorry, Dago, you said that it's, you know, your mom had said that this stuff has gone on for years, and it's just that we weren't looking for it. And it's like, okay, so now that we are, right? And I'm just sitting here right now, the feeling I've got just from the past 3 days and the crap we've seen that's in the past 3 days. And it's like, you know, I know there are laws that are created when, you know, tragic situations like the Audrey Cunningham thing happens, right? Somebody will create a law to pass, but at the end of the day, it's always just a pacification of the public. And it's one of those things where I'm like, instead of people writing their Congress people and saying, do something about it, it's almost a situation where it seems like enough people ought to get together and draft their own that they get down with and support, and put that in front of the Congress and say, look, this is what we want. Do it.
Yeah.
Do something about this.
We are the people, and they work for us, and we should be able to do that with no problem.
Right. And I mean, I can't imagine, you know, I mean, everybody that's lawmakers come from we the people, right? And there's got to be enough of us heads to put together to figure out a solution for things that's at least tolerable. Nothing.
There's so many of us out here. There's so many of us out here, guys. We are the people. This is our country. This government works for us, folks. And I'm not going into this whole political spiel, but I'm saying we're the ones that can make something happen. We just have to open our mouths and do it, guys. That's all I'm saying.
How can these people let their daughter melt into a couch for 12 years and walk away with bond or whatever it was? That's just not right. What is wrong with, you know, our society or our police or whatever it is? It just, you know, come on, people, can't you see what's going on?
Enough is enough, you guys.
Right.
I've said this for months. Enough is a damn enough. With everything, not just this, everything that has been going on, enough is a damn enough. So ridiculous. So ridiculous.
Especially with these kids. Like, you just...
kids, yeah.
Like, I think that's what I've come to the realization of. We've sat and talked about Idaho for over a year, and you know, but these past 3 days, it's like I'm literally pissed off.
Yeah.
You know,
100%. 100%.
The worst part of it is, and I hate to say this because it's like controversial to me, but stories like this that we have talked about in the last 3 days, guess what? They're only about to increase with them undoing Roe v. Wade. Like, they're only going to grow.
I agree with that one, because there's going to be more children that are going to be born.
Not
people that
wanted.
don't want them.
Right. And it's only going to just escalate.
It's going to get worse. I agree. It's going to get.
The side of it is this is just the group we have talking about these cases in the past 3 days. That's not even like that doesn't even touch the tip of how big the problem is, right?
Oh yeah, because we don't even know about all of them.
Right.
You know what I
That's
mean?
and this is
Yeah.
this isn't even a dot on the map of
No.
everything that goes
No.
on that's like that. And it's like, yeah, I mean, when you really start to think about that and feel the weight of that, it's like, yeah, that's craziness.
100%. And this is, yeah, you're right. It's not even a speck as compared to what is actually going on around us right now. Right now, as we speak, there's something happening, and you guys know that as well as I do.
Well, and I just saw a comment on the screen about, if you stay in true crime long enough, you'll figure out what you can tolerate and think about legit what law enforcement. And I mean, all day I've got nothing but respect for law enforcement that actually care and do their job like they're supposed to. Nothing but respect all day because it's a job I couldn't do.
Oh no.
It explains why sometimes I think law enforcement gets lost. Okay. I think they get lost within themselves and their jobs and don't know, like me, for instance, what I did. Okay. At some point during what I was doing, I had to look at like, what am I doing? Why am I doing this again? And I had to remind myself of that because it was so traumatizing in some senses for what I did that there were nightmares and bad dreams and days I'd get up and go like, I don't want to do this anymore. I don't want to do this. I can't do this anymore. I can't look at these things anymore. But I did because if I stopped doing it that day, that's how I continue to do it till I hurt myself. I thought if I stop doing this today, who's going to do it then? You know what I mean? I know there's other people doing it, but what if everybody did what I did and felt the way that I felt? Okay, that's why I kept going, because I knew that people were out there that needed the things that I did and needed somebody to be there that actually wanted to be there to do it. Okay, but there were days that came across me. So imagine law enforcement going through what they go through and getting lost in it sometimes. I can imagine that does happen, which is in some senses how they become corrupt, maybe. Okay, because they get so burnt out on things and is it worth it anymore because it's not working anymore. But there are so many, and please hear me when I say this, there are so many good, real law enforcement officers out there that need support from all of us guys instead of this dumb bullshit defunding the police, this and that, and everything else. That's I don't care what anybody says. You know what the world will be like if that all happened? Mass
anarchy.
Yes, complete total chaos and anarchy. I don't care what anybody says. We don't need the police. We can do it ourselves. No, we can't. No, we can't. No, we can't.
There's a 3-year-old missing. 3-year-old. What's going on with that? Because I was a little late on that, but
the View boy, Vu. I think I say it's pronounced Vu. Yeah, that's newer.
2 days. He's been missing 2 days.
Yeah, 2 days, and he went missing in his local neighborhood. He's such a cute little guy, tiny little guy.
Yep.
I don't know any more specifics behind it other than the fact that the mother's in jail and the aunt is the one that's the spokesperson basically for everything. And I pray to God that they find this child somewhere. I do. This is getting so hard to even do. It really is.
Oh God, it feels so bad. We're talking a 3-year-old. I don't have children, but my God, 3 years old. And how do you not keep your eyes on that?
Right, thank you. Who doesn't watch a 3-year-old? Thank you.
Well, didn't they say it's so the person that had them isn't the parent, right?
No.
I would really like to know what the mom is in jail for, because I saw an article that came out on it today and it said authorities say there's no family in the area.
Okay. But she's in jail.
Like, what? How is there no who? And then they said a caretaker reported them missing.
Mm-hmm.
Now, they didn't say if it was a family member, but I'm like, how could that be if there's no family in the area? You know what I mean? It was really weird.
Yeah,
I'll
no,
find it.
I get it. Got you. And it reminded me immediately of Quentin Simon. He even looks like him a little bit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Again,
Yes.
that case
Yep.
broke me almost, you know? So
He really
I
does
mean,
look like a Precious Moments doll. You guys ever seen
100%.
those?
I don't understand how people, I'm not saying that anybody purposely harms this child. You know, I'm just saying I don't know how people can do that when they look at these babies' faces and they go and do the things they do. And again, that takes me back to what you said before. It's got to be pure evil that brings that out. Do you know what I'm saying? It's unbelievable.
Well, it's like we talked about the other day when we were talking about dropping our kids off at people's houses and things like that and knowing where they're going.
Yeah.
I believe that is something that's like generational. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
if your parents didn't watch over you that good, they didn't make sure they knew where you were going, who you were going to be with, like what kind of parent are you going to be? Because you haven't seen the proper way to do that. You know
Right.
what I mean?
That is fact. That is fact.
Yes, Heather, it's the 3-year-old View. I don't know if it's View or View.
I think it's Vu, I think is how they pronounce it.
His mom has been arrested.
He was arrested for what?
I'm looking right now.
The mom of the 3-year-old?
Yeah.
Yes. But then the aunt or somebody said that they hadn't had contact with the parents, neither one, in what, years or something like that, or a long time.
Something like that, yeah. 3 foot 45 pounds. God, this kid's so cute.
He is.
Totally.
Totally.
I hope somebody just picked him up and they just don't know where to take him to or something. I pray to God nobody hurts this kid if they found him. I can't see the damn media release now. Damn it.
Don't.
Okay, so Lisby said the mom and a man living at the same house were arrested last night, but they don't say why.
Okay, so I have this. Thank you, Licity. Okay, the media release on this one was the incident was reported to Manitowoc County Joint Dispatch February 20th of 2024 at 10:59 a.m. The caller, identified as the adult caretaker, stated that Elijah was last seen at approximately 8 a.m. So the call came in at 10:59, so 8 to 9, 9. Okay, that's too long. Sorry. That's
Yeah.
out.
Out loud or make it bigger.
Oh, here we go.
Bigger.
There we go. Yep. Good.
Sorry about that. Sorry. After receiving the call, officers responded to gather information and assistance searching within our original Facebook post and media release. We informed the public that Elijah is described as having Hmong and white ethnicity with dark blonde hair and brown eyes. He was last seen wearing gray pants, a long sleeve dark shirt, and red and green dinosaur shoes. He is possibly carrying a red and white plaid blanket, as pictured earlier. Additional information received is that Elijah is approximately 3 feet in height and has a birthmark on his left knee. Local, state, federal resources were requested to assist with the search. These resources included, but are not limited to, canine and drone units. Additionally, information was sent out to all media. Facebook, a child is missing, and a Wisconsin Amber Alert has been issued. The Two Rivers Police Department is asking all residents to search any outbuildings, vehicles, or any other concealed areas they may have on their property in an attempt to locate Elijah. Additionally, if residents have surveillance cameras or ring doorbells, we are asking the public to please check them for images of Elijah. Two Rivers Police Departments received requests from several individuals to use personal drones and personal canines to assist in searching. At this point, please refrain from the use of drones as it may interfere with law enforcement canine and drone searches. Sorry, guys.
Yeah.
That's pretty much it for that. So
why not use drones? Why not?
Well,
use
because
drones to help.
the drones, they say if there's dogs out searching, they distract the dogs.
Yeah, whatever.
That's
No.
weird though.
I don't believe that.
I'm with Randy on that one. That don't make any sense.
I've heard that stated before in other cases, but supposedly they distract the dogs. I don't know. The dogs are smelling; they're not listening. So
No, but they are very sensitive to all noise. So I guess I could see that.
I say no.
You know, they hear a pin drop. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like she started barking earlier because she heard the one outside. What, 50 yards away?
That's
crazy.
These dogs are trained to look for something. They're not going to worry about drones or noises or whatever.
Right. And
they have one thing in mind, and that's try to find whatever they're looking for.
What I'm petrified of with this one, honestly, is the fact that there's so much going on with child trafficking right now and things like that. And the people will see this child and grab him up and off he goes.
Well,
I hope not. I hope not, Dago.
How scary of a situation is that, right? Like that even has to come into your mind as a distinct possibility that if your kid wanders off for 30 seconds out of your sight, that could be the end of, or that could be the outcome of that situation.
Yeah,
like
that's it too. That's what scares me to death. When Caden was he was 3. Caden is high functioning autism, very, very, very hyper, chronic ADHD. The child always was trying to go outside, so we had to lock our doors down with deadbolts, this, that, and everything else. And like we would take him everywhere we went to, anywhere we went to watch him, everything we did. Okay. If I had to go to the bathroom, guess who went to the bathroom with me? Caden did. So this one time I went to the bathroom, which was right across the hall from his bedroom. I set him in his room with his toys and said, Daddy, be right back. And I sat there and watched the doorway. I don't know how this happened. He got past me. At some point, I must have looked away, went down the stairs, opened the living room window, which is an old school with the weighted windows, went out the window and went walking towards his grandmother's house because he knew which direction we would go. Okay. Thank God the neighbor lady saw him because he started to walk down the street and walked him right back. I come out of the house. I'm on the phone with the police and my wife. Freaking out. I went through the whole house. And there he was. Do you want to know what I went through at that point?
Crazy.
I was watching the kid. That's the thing. So I understand at some point that this can happen, but my God, the fear, like you just said, of what can happen if this child walks out on the street as compared to what it used to be like. You know, if a child walked out of a house when we were kids, they'd get walked back in that house by the neighborhood. Okay? I don't trust that nowadays. Not at all. If I've been living next door to my neighbor, like my neighbor here, yeah, that's different. Okay. Or across the street, that's different. I know them, but you move into a neighborhood that you don't know and you haven't lived in for 10 years. You don't know the people. Even then, I don't trust people that well. That somebody's going to take this child, snatch them up and go sell them because everything comes back to money, guys. Everything. And it's sick, sad, and scary.
Well, I was just sitting here thinking, how many times since we've lived here have kids ended up here for visiting her or something, and we've ended up having to take care of that kid because of a situation
where the parent, oh my gosh,
and it's my point being is that it's like it's just it's crazy, right? It's crazy.
We had a girl over here one night, and the poor thing, she calls her mom and she's crying I mean, like an infant, her ear was hurting. She obviously had an ear infection or something going on. And she called her mom and she's bawling on the phone. And verbatim, I promise you, this lady said, I'll come get you when I'm done cooking dinner.
No.
I lost my mind. And then to find out, I got up, got her in the car, my daughter and fiance, and we took that little girl home. You know, her mama never even took her to the damn doctor.
People don't. They're too lazy. Parents are lazy nowadays. I told you guys.
My ultimate point is
These are the new parents and the babysitters right here. This is it. Give your kid one of these, and they'll be fine. That's what everybody does.
yeah, and that's what my point is, right? Is it's like the this stuff when you see it on the news or whatever, right? Or sitting here talking about it, sometimes it may not hit as close to home as it probably should. But I just sitting here thinking about it, it's like there's multiple situations I can think of right now, real world, where there's kids that absolutely could fall into a situation like any of these that we've looked at.
Yep.
I will say, I live in a situation where we have kind of a park between our streets, and there are tons of kids that play outside, so on and so forth. And I know, I don't mean to be weird, but there's some good looking little girls and stuff like that, and they're out playing and so on and so forth. And it just scares me to death that these kids are just out available, as I would say, to for something to happen to them. They're just out in the open, and it scares me. I watch it out of my kitchen window.
Where are their parents at home?
Right.
They don't care. That's the thing. My child never left my yard or my eyesight until he was big enough to be able to pretty much, well, like literally over the past 5 years. That's when it started to be where he could go next door or here or there by himself. But I'm still paying attention to him and watching him and this and everything else. These parents will let 5, 6, 7-year-old kids go down the street to the park by themselves.
Right.
What?
Oh yeah, we
No.
You can go ahead.
Go ahead, Randy.
No, I was just saying it actually scares me to look out the window and see these kids out playing on this island, as we call it. It's actually just I just get so afraid. Why are these kids out there without parents, without any supervision? And anybody could come up and pick them up or talk them into something or whatever.
100%. 100%.
So frustrating. Where are the parents? Where is
it's a very sad thing. It's a very sad thing.
Scares me.
My house, we were the popsicle family, as we called it. Like, we were the house that all of our friends, or all of our kids' friends would come to, because they would eat here. They would sleep here at a lot of times, spending the night and stuff like that. All summer long they were here, because they knew they were getting food here. They knew that they were getting this, that we paid attention to them. We did things with all of them. Okay. We would all sit down and watch movies with them. And they loved it at our house because their families, not to say that they had bad parents, but they didn't.
Did the parents know?
Yeah, the parents knew where they were, so on and so forth, but they never wanted to leave here, is the thing. Because they make comments to us like, well, mom doesn't cook like this, or we don't do these movie things, or hanging out like this, or having cookouts and stuff. They don't do that anymore. It's like, what? Why? Well, they don't have time. They're either working, or mom's with her boyfriend, because some of these kids come from divorced families, or things like that. So our door was always open, and they still come here. They're grown up at the grown adults now, and they still come here. It's crazy. So, Wait, they finally found him. What are you talking about? Oh, you're talking about when you lost. Okay, I got you. Well, guys, we're about 3 hours, 15 minutes in. I think that's gonna do it for tonight. I'm tired. Thank you guys for jumping in here. It was a good conversation. It really was. Like I said, it was just a conglomerate of things that are going on out there that I wanted to throw out to everybody. And of course, allow you guys to throw anything out yourselves. But
Good stuff, Dago. Good stuff.
thank you, sir. I appreciate you. And thank you for coming up here, Randy. It's been a while. I appreciate having you up here as always.
Thank you. Thank you, Dago.
And your input.
And thank you, Clamati. And Cletus.
Yes, sir.
Always, as always, Clue and Cletus, thank you for jumping up with your input as well. I appreciate you guys. I'll talk to you guys soon. Everybody in chat, once again, don't forget, guys, to love yourselves, love each other. Keep your eyes open, folks. Don't change a thing about yourselves because you're the beautiful people. And I will see everybody so very soon. Have a great night, folks, and God bless.
Good night, all.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Clamati rock.